Israel-Palestine, terrible conflict going on, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about my feelings being hurt.
He's just got done capturing a massive progressive audience who are very politically savvy. We're just meant to support each other online despite our own personal morals or principles.
If you're not willing to disavow active lies about somebody endangering their own child, maybe you're the problem.
You guys are just hurt, and you're kind of like dancing around and making very loose, poorly thought out analogies.
Ethan, you're just hurt and you're dancing around. If you're gonna disagree with what Ethan's doing, at least bring in the full context here.
Why are you saying that I'm not standing up for my principles when you don't even know what they are?
Yeah, we don't either, bud.
I think the crew has been put in the worst working environment that you possibly can be.
Nothing makes me crash out more than disconnected millionaires thinking about tyrannical workplace environments that have never worked a real job.
It's really hard to be a couple online and see people attacking your partner.
I've never seen a more active display of performative crying ever on the internet. We're getting this started. I know it's a little too soon, but we're getting this started. I'm excited. Let's do this. Let me tell you something. I was on Twitter and I saw somebody say like, oh, or I saw like the announcement that Content Cop was coming back and everybody's like, it's not Ethan. It's not. I was like, it's going to be Ethan. And I almost made a tweet that was like, it's definitely Ethan. Right? Because what an easy dunk from, iDubbbz's perspective. It's just going to be like another Israel-Palestine video. And we've sifted through so many of these ridiculous videos, and they take such a long time to debunk all the misinformation. We did it to Noah Samson. We did it to Steve from Sex and the City. So we got another one. I'm wearing my certified silly goose shirt. But maybe I'm the silly goose. Maybe this will be beautiful. Maybe this will be a masterpiece. But check it out. Hasan was part of this video. Denims, part of this video. Sean the Black was part of the video. Frogan, part of the video. Nissan Honda. I don't know who this is. Kirk Honda? Cool. Part of the video. Noah Samson, part of the video. Matt Lieb. I don't know who this is. Part of the video. Everybody's part of the video. I'm surprised Bandit Banana's not part of the video. But hey, man. Now let's us be part of the video. Let's go.
The beach is surprisingly dangerous. Destination, the beach is surprisingly dangerous. Consider the
fucking thing in our defense, like, actually, Hila's not a baby killer. Actually, accused.
Let me tell you something. After a 2-hour goon session, I am. You know what I'm saying? All into a napkin.
Ethan of killing his dog is maybe too far, because they have mobilized such an insane harassment group that anybody who says any fucking thing, they will attempt to ruin their lives. And once again, I'm the crazy one. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people.
What we do here is go back.
This is so cringe. Sorry. I love gays. It's a little cringe, brothers. But okay.
Back.
We got to put the cringe aside because, maybe there's some really good points in this video.
Back.
Maybe there are some really... We have to be good. There might be some really good points. I'm not even kidding. We don't know. Is this what it used to be like, Content Cop? Because this is just so cringe. Maybe this is how it's always been. Has it always been like this? Or... I don't know. What is the... Does he even have any Content Cops up on here anymore? Oh, he might have taken them all down. Oh, okay. We can't even... Okay. Crazy. There is a Content Cop archive, so... I guess it was always a little cringe, but I felt like this one really amped it up.
What's up, everybody? I'm Hasan Piker, and this is the Hasan broadcast.
Hasan Parker, just so you guys know.
Coming to you live from a cloudy day here in California, Los Angeles. We're live on.
Oh my God.
Hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful
What? Dude, was he slurring his words?
day. I have a very important announcement.
Maybe he's just sick, but I felt like we all just vomited together.
I've finally done it. I watched Ethan Klein's content nuke, and I'm
Why didn't you watch it online? Honestly, like, what do you have to hide? Why didn't you just watch it online? Did he watch the content nuke online? Why did it take him however many months? 2 months. And why did it take him 2 months? Oh, look at this one. Oh!
I'm not going to call it context puke as I normally do because the reality of the matter is it was brilliant. Nothing was out of context. Everything was correct. I am an Islamist, fundamentalist, radical terrorist. I am a vicious anti-Semite. It's true. Most importantly, Ethan is more attractive than me, both physically and also mentally. I've been lying about everything, including my glasses. They're fake. He was right about that. That's not even in the content nuke. And he was right about that too.
If that is true, that's like a weird thing to do, but okay.
How did he know everything? How?
Did he watch? Is there any way we can watch this live? Because I doubt that he reacted to it live.
Wake up.
No, Papa God, he already watched the context, the nuke through other people. Yeah, and then he lied. When Hasan was watching other people watch the content nuke, it was them making like bad arguments about things that weren't even in the content nuke. I doubt that he actually watched it. He's just going to say something. He has the backings of a bunch of people. This is the legitimate start of like an actual YouTube civil war. I'm not even kidding. The sides have been cast. And let's be real. Let's be real. That's what's happening here. And you already know what side I'm on, baby. You already know, baby. You already know. Okay? I don't give a fuck.
Ethan.
This is my time to shine. This is my year, dude. I'm shitting in my pants right now.
Wake up, Ethan. Ethan, wake up.
This is really cringe.
Wakey, wakey, Ethan. Wake up, Ethan. Wake up. Time to be awake, Ethan.
Wake up, Ethan.
This is so cringe.
This is not your dream. This is a nightmare. Wake up.
Ethan, the dumb bitch is telling you to wake up.
Wake up.
Ethan, wake up.
Wake up, Ethan.
This is insane.
Wake up. Wake up.
Oh my god. That scared me a little, sorry.
Dreams, anyone? Just wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up.
Bro, this is ridiculous. I actually love this so much. This is exciting.
Wake up, Ethan.
Damn, what the fuck is that?
I'm not going to do a react content yet, chat.
I'm the same. Nobody's telling you to wake up, Ethan.
Ooh, yummy. I love Sabra.
I love this because I know Ethan's sweating right now, but this is like the legitimate downfall. Like I don't care what you guys think. After all the dust settles from whatever this fucking mess is, this is gonna be one of the moments of embarrassment for iDubbbz. This is great.
Wake up, Ethan. Wake up.
Ethan.
Wake up, Ethan.
Wake up.
Wake up, Ethan. Just wake up.
Wow. Okay, that was incredible. Let's see if we can put it back on slightly increased speed again.
All right. I didn't plan on making a content cop on H3. It sounds very stupid even saying that.
Well, you did make it. What do you mean you didn't? Why didn't you plan it? Wait, what changed? What made you plan it? Is it because he called you out publicly? And then all of a sudden you're like, you know what? This very serious conflict is a problem. But when you make me feel a little bad, that's when things get serious. Time to do a conga line with a lot of people I've never met online before that don't care about me.
H3 content cop, iDubbbz. Ethan Klein's out of control. And then you should do a content cop on Hasan Piker. Content cop on Sargon of Akkad. If I would imagine this in 2016, I would have been like, oh yeah, if I ever do that, it's gotta be because I lose the plot. Well, it turns out it's not me losing the plot, it's Ethan.
I think that you were right. I think that your intuition was right. I think your original intuition was right.
The one who fucking attacked first.
There's no
My
script?
good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up.
So go fuck yourself.
That's it. This is it. Guys, just to be clear, Israel-Palestine, terrible conflict going on. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about my feelings being hurt. iDubbbz. Incredible, beautiful stuff.
I agree.
All right, guys, I'm going to tell you a story about
ready
Ethan
for it.
Klein. I know
Ready.
some of you have been following him, but there's a lot of people who might not be familiar with the background, with his podcast, with what's been going on over
Yep.
the past couple of years.
Yep.
So Ethan, as you know, is a content creator who has a podcast where he says all sorts of outrageous stuff. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's fucked up. He's
What was the thing that he referenced that was fucked up?
had shows with all sorts of different controversial characters. He's had a show with Trisha Paytas.
By the way, we got it. We shouldn't be forgiving so lightly. She's fucking crazy, but we're not here for that.
He's had a show with Hasan Piker.
True.
In doing so, he's gathered a ton of
It's actually a good.
different with Trisha Paytas. He's had a show with Hasan.
He looks like the Beast after the Beast was the man again, and the Beauty and the Beast, which sounds like a compliment because he does have nice hair. But let's be real, to all the women out there, you know you wanted to fuck the Beast more than the regular human because you're a disgusting degenerate, and you're the type of person that buys gross books off of TikTok about Shrek from the swamp fucking you. Because I've seen those before. All right. I know what you're talking about.
Piker. In doing so, he's gathered a ton of different audiences. Now, in his podcast with Hasan, Leftovers, they would mostly talk about surface level progressive shit and make fun of right-wingers.
And you're telling me he didn't flick their dick once at least?
Oh, that's 100 shavers. You trans women. I say, oh no!
And it was mostly that until they actually had to reckon with a very serious topic. I
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely true.
would say that Hasan was very well equipped to talk about that topic.
I think Ethan was too. I don't think Hasan was. At that moment when this happened, Hasan's audience shit on Ethan and Hasan wouldn't. This is what it all boils down to. Whether you guys want to cope on it or not. All this boils down to is when the October 7th attacks happened, Hasan's audience used it as an opportunity to call Ethan a baby murderer. And Hasan did absolutely nothing to stop it. He didn't say, guys, you need to stop. He didn't moderate his Discord. He didn't moderate his chat. He didn't defend one of his friends. And that doesn't mean that there can't be a productive conversation. But he was destroying, his audience was destroying Ethan, and he did nothing about it. He showed his true colors. Why wouldn't you moderate people and give them a temporary ban for them absolutely calling Ethan a disgusting freak when we know what Ethan's perspective is? His perspective is that Israel has the right to exist. It doesn't have the right to fight back disproportionately. For years, well, maybe even almost a decade, Ethan has been talking about how Netanyahu is a bad person and about how the Israeli government will commit oppressions onto Palestine. He just is, Israeli. He's an Israeli Jew. And he's like, hey, we have the right to exist, but we have a problem in our government. That's what it's been. And Hasan never did that. And that's when the true colors showed through. That's it, man. And that's why this whole thing happened. Because Hasan couldn't say, hey, guys, relax. We should have a productive conversation. That's what it was. And in my opinion, I think it was because Ethan was part of the reason that Hasan's career was held on to. As it was sinking down in views, Ethan was like, hey, let's have a podcast. And it was keeping him going. October 7th happened. Hasan saw a massive boost in views. All of a sudden didn't need Ethan anymore. That's just my little conspiracy theory, though.
Palestinian people living in the West Bank are subject to these horrific conditions, horrific living conditions by the state of Israel, America's greatest ally and the only democracy in the Middle East, if you ask Republicans and even liberals.
Yeah, Ethan would agree with that.
Well, the dancing embedded was so kick-ass.
Israeli settlers are trying to evict Palestinian families in occupied East Jerusalem. The United Nations says...
Wait, Ethan literally said that. I'm pretty sure he said people in the West Bank are valid military targets for Hamas. He agrees with all these things.
That may be a war crime. It literally is.
It's just eating the toppings. And the pizza looked like a burn victim. It was all disgusting.
I could have swore that they had a conversation on the Frenemies podcast about this topic. All right.
A joke in 2021.
Why?
It's insensitive to burn victims.
I think it's a good analogy. It's a powerful image.
Ethan was not prepared for this. Ethan, the whole time, is more of the goof guy. And that's fine. We don't expect Ethan to be an expert on the topic. Ethan was obviously caught in this tricky situation where he is extremely sympathetic to the Israeli cause and what's happening to them. His wife's Israeli. She served in the IDF. He obviously likes the state of Israel. On the other hand, he's just got done capturing a massive progressive audience who are very politically savvy. They follow his...
That's the funniest fucking thing iDubbbz has ever said in his entire time online. No joke. Oh my God. Politically savvy? Are you fucking kidding me? Take Hasan's audience and put him in a room. They're going to need a shit ton of chaperones. Are you kidding me? The entire audience is fucking children that think he's attractive. What the fuck are you talking about? Politically savvy? Holy fuck, they're as politically savvy as I am at growing hair. What are you talking about? This is the problem with the online, is that you could just like, you don't know who's on the other end of a video. Asmongold's audience is full of a bunch of fucking incels who don't shave or shower and their mom still cleans up their cum underwear. Hasan's audience is full of a bunch of 15-year-olds that are too confused about themselves to even know what the fuck is going on and are looking for somebody to tell them the world because they can't interpret it for themselves. What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean? Their audience is, this audience is not adults in any capacity. It's like we're at the point now where even like AOC is like dodging Hasan because they did an Among Us stream, and then later Hasan started whining like a bitch, and then recently they did like a very short interview just so that they could be like, okay, let's try to capture the audience, and then they dipped and they wouldn't give him another interview. What are you talking about? Adults don't follow Hasan. They're not politically savvy. They don't know what's going on. And the real hot take is the majority of people, let's say like 99% of people, aren't even looking to have their own opinion. They're looking to other people to give them an opinion without any actual fact checking. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Politically savvy. Is it politically savvy to downplay the fucking the death of Uyghur Muslims in camps in China? Is it politically savvy to make jokes about how it was justifiable for Russia to annex Crimea? Hasan isn't intelligent. His entire basis is West bad. That's it. There's nothing else there. And the West can be bad, but that's all it is. When anybody that's non-Western commits an oppression, we don't care. But when it's the West committing an oppression, we only care too much. To the point where we dog whistle that Jews are bad. By the way, YouTube, I love Jews. Don't fucking... I made a joke about being a fat Jew the other day. Because I am. Like, I'm ethnically Jewish. And they took the video down. I was like, what the hell?
Hasan is strictly a political streamer.
You're right. Hasan never does any type of political drama. Strictly a political streamer. Strictly. If I went on his channel right now, we would see nothing that was political drama at all. Hasan's entire channel is just political drama. Let's not pretend it's otherwise. That's all it is. It's political drama. And I love political drama. But this is the entire fundamental problem, is that the political landscape has become so interesting that we can do drama out of it. Does this look like a purely political video with this fucking face? No, political drama is the thing. That's what people kind of want to see. And I like it. I like drama. I don't like political drama. Politics should be really boring. They're not. But that's where our atmosphere is at. Fucking strictly politics. Get the fuck out of here.
So this is something they're very keyed into. So when they see Ethan say things that are just like not accurate and it's just propaganda.
Like what? I hope you show me.
They're going to call it out.
From the river to the sea essentially means the state of Israel is going bye-bye.
Yes, that's exactly what it means.
So this massive...
Wait, you think that's propaganda? That is what that means. What are you talking about? Wait. Dude, are you kidding me? That's not propaganda. From what river to what sea do you think they're referring to? This is something that Palestinians and Hamas say. From the river to the sea, because Palestine will be free. They want the Jews gone. And you want to know what? Let's have like a real conversation. There has been a historical oppression onto Palestinian people from Israel. It's very complicated. But while I think it's absolutely wrong, I can understand why a group of people who are forced into different lands and oppressed and displaced would not like the people displacing them. Why do we need to run defense for this? This is what happens when a country oppresses another country. Now, it is very complicated. This whole started like 80 years ago. Israel was given that land after they were genocided after World War II, right? Historically, they were there, but it was several thousand years. And they settled there. They wanted to have an ethno-state because they were just, 6 million that were just murdered. It displaced Palestinians. It's wrong. Back then, the lines weren't as firmly drawn as they are today. But like those Palestinian people, they need restitution. They need reparations. They need to be able to rebuild. Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. But that is what that slogan dog whistles. And like you should understand that. Like you should be like, yeah, I get it. Are you kidding me? It's like, it's the same argument. Because if you're like a leftist in America, it's the same argument of like black people not liking white people because they've been oppressed for how long? Systemically oppressed, right? Like I think it's wrong to not like white people. I love white people. Okay. But I get it. Right? So this like how low effort do you have to be? How fucking low effort do you have to be? Fuck, dude.
Progressive audience that Ethan has, adopted over the years. They're becoming increasingly critical of his position because now he's talking about it not on Leftovers. He's now talking about it on his podcast.
True, but you should show us some misinformation because you so far have only showed us things that Ethan has been right about.
What I want to do is show you guys how I see Israel, because you don't see that when you listen to Hasan and you hear all these fucking okay. mega.
His podcast.
What I want to do is show you guys how I see Israel, because you don't see that when you
Okay, Israel again blocks Gaza aid, further risking lives for sure. So this first article that he's referencing is here. I just want to bring it up, and it's having a conversation about March 2nd, 2025, that the Israeli government blocking aid going into Gaza. This is absolutely like, yeah, I understand this is true. Ethan's been calling Netanyahu a war criminal for how long? There doesn't mean that there's not another side of Israel. Just because like he's saying like, hey, there is another side of Israel. Like it's not just the oppressive government side onto Palestine. Like Ethan calls out constantly. What else do we got?
listen to Hasan and you hear all these fucking mega lefties talking.
Israel authorities block healthcare workers from entering Gaza. So they're justifier for denying these, and I don't know how true all of them are. They're probably true to an extent, but you should take it with a grain of salt. Part of its security concerns are saying allegations of aid diversion. They're thinking that, or they're claiming that people inside of like Hamas are taking it, like people up inside Hamas are taking it, like the leaders of Hamas are stealing it, which they have done verifiably historically. They're also being limited. They're not necessarily being blocked completely. They're being limited. But still, I imagine that this is all sensationalization. Like, I'm sure that all this is true, but to what extent? Is it true enough for it to be a justifier to not let Palestinian people get aid or healthcare? No, I doubt it. Right? But okay, let's continue.
Talking about it like it's some super racist, like crazy.
Israel's apartheid against Palestinians, a cruel. Okay, well, yeah, they have them in the behind, like, yeah, we understand that, sure.
Like Jim Crow style of society. Like, I can't wait to show you.
I think it's something to keep in mind that like Palestinians are right now. What the fuck is the word? They're not rioting. What is the other one? What's the peaceful one? What is wrong with it? Protesting Hamas. I think that's something to keep in mind. Hamas doesn't have the best interest of Palestinian people. Neither does Israel. But Hamas is hiding within civilian infrastructure, and Israel is still attacking them. The Palestinian people are oppressed by all sides. What are you talking about? And then surrounding Muslim countries won't take Palestinians in, unfortunately, for varying reasons. So, like, these are people that are oppressed by all sides.
Show you guys.
The other day, Bibi fired a really good guy that
We're
a lot
doing
of people
it again!
are pissed about.
So Ethan is having...
We did it again! We did it again! I'm sick of this fucking clip every single time we watch one of these losers talk about it. This is them, by the way, they admitted it, misspeaking about somebody inside of the Israeli government. And that person was saying, hey, originally they were really strong after October 7th. They said very dehumanizing things about Palestinians, absolutely. But at that moment, they were pushing to end the war in Gaza, and Netanyahu got rid of them. That's the context of the clip. They're saying it's bad that they got rid of the guy trying to advocate for the end of the conflict. And they keep putting it out of context, and they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Holy fuck. Here's Ethan from Frenemies 4 years ago explaining Israel-Palestine.
Former countries, and then you don't explain it to her.
Doesn't gonna take me on it?
I can give you in a nutshell.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay, here we go. So before there was a mass immigration of Jews from Europe and around the world to Israel, there was the Palestinians lived there, more or less. This is very simplified. And then the Jews bought up a ton of land and moved them and just kind of forced them in a lot of ways down into the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. Some people consider all of Israel Palestine, but it's like traditionally Palestine. I mean, it is. If you go back in a map, it used to be called Palestine, Palestinian territories.
So if I go to Israel, I can walk into Palestine?
Well, Palestine is kind of, it's not, Palestine and Israel is kind of a name for the same place.
So everything is, so Jaffa is Palestine.
Yeah, if you ask a Palestinian, they'll say it's Palestine.
So
usually somebody who would not respect the existence of Palestine wouldn't be calling any of the territory Palestine. But okay.
He could say he's Palestinian.
No, because he's not Arab. He's not Palestinian.
Only Arabs believe that.
Well, Palestinian is a group of people, like Jews is a group of people. So Palestinians are Arabs who come from that region. Their lineage and their heritage, and they're from that region. But they're living in Gaza Strip, which is like a really horrible place to live.
Oh, sounds like a guy who loves to run defense for the Israeli government.
And they're like boxed in this tiny bit of land that Israel owns, and it's fucking horrible to live there.
So they're not like...
Wow. I can't believe Ethan would say something so true 4 years ago. It's funny how Ethan has been so perfectly consistent. Okay.
Walking around Tel Aviv.
No. Well, some of our, yeah, no, there's a lot of
incredible
Israeli dual citizens.
That is true. I think like 2 million of them, right? Okay, great stuff.
This back and forth with his liberal audience, leftist people online, progressive content creators, Hasan, all of these different people. He's finding new people every day, basically, to get in fights with.
Of all people, this guy, Matt Lieb, Frogan and Denims and all these dipshits.
I will say one thing. Ethan really should not be fighting with all these fucking nobodies, okay? It's good for me, because we get to cover it. It's kind of fun. But, I mean, he's giving... Like, what Ethan should have done from the start is made the content cop... Talked about it once on his pod. What the hell am I talking about? He should have made his content nuke on Hasan, talked about it for the one episode on his podcast, and then he should have just moved on. he should have just moved on from that point on, and he should have just focused on generating credibility, because these conversations are not about facts. Ethan is factually right. That's just what it comes down to. Ethan is more right than Hasan. Nobody thinks that because Hasan looks more right. Ethan looks like he's overly obsessed with Hasan because he keeps talking about it, and we know it's because Ethan is petty. He's a silly little goose. But he looks petty now, and now it looks like Hasan is more cool, calm, cool, regulated. The people that are engaging with this, most of them are fucking idiots. They're just looking at the optics of it. They don't know what the fuck is going on. They say, oh, optically, Hasan looks right. And Ethan isn't worrying about his optics, which I think he should be. If he just took a step back and he did like drop the nuke and he just moved on and started talking about other things, the next time this conversation comes up, he now has generated credibility from people watching him for other things that might be people who are sensitive to Hasan. And now they'll be like, okay, let me give this guy more of a shot. That's what that's what I think he should have done it. But you know, Ethan's a little petty. It's always fun. But that's what I think he should have done.
And everybody thinks this guy's awesome, apparently. Even though he looks like Millhouse, fucking dork. Denims, by the way, was the real villain of the video. Evil, hateful, fucking... And I'll say...
That's true. She is a disgusting person. She was like downplaying like rape and violence of Israeli people. That's been confirmed by the UN. So.
And I'll double down on it. And people... Oh, no? Not go there.
And it's all culminated, at least for my story, in Ethan burning bridges with people until he burned the bridge with me.
Kind of. That actually might be the only true thing he'll say this whole time.
Since Ethan and Hasan's falling out, I've been keeping to myself mostly. I don't have many nice things to say. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if he stops harassing other creators, maybe...
Get some help? How is he harassing people?
If he does these things...
Just because he should have chilled out a little bit doesn't mean he's harassing anybody.
Eventually he'll find peace and we can like rekindle our friendship. So that's been my approach.
Wow, you're a fucking loser. He's doing like this weird like kind of both sides thing. You're torching the bridge. Be a man about it.
I've occasionally thrown a joke Ethan's way in the form of Hasan Piker versus Ethan Klein for boxing.
I like iDubbbz. He's a good guy, but I don't like this stupid. It's not a fucking petty beef. It's like this guy is evil and he's doing anti-Semitism, and also he's way out of my weight class.
He didn't like that, but fucking sometimes you gotta just throw something out there. I used to work with this video editor named Froggy Tonic. I discovered him because he was in the circles online that I was in. And one of those circles is an H3 fan. He watched Ethan's content. He liked Ethan's content until he didn't.
Was that Pearl? Yeah.
Didn't like Ethan's content. There would be an occasional Froggy tweet where I'd be like, I agree with that. You know?
Ethan Klein, do you really think putting yourself, your crew, and your audience in a semantic competition over a petty year-old I'm right, you're wrong obsession you cannot get over is the right strategy? Stop tormenting yourself, man. Listen to Hasan. Well, to listen to Hasan part's not right, but the first part might be right.
You know, like I'm not going to endorse it. I'm not going to retweet it or like it, but fair enough.
I guess I just missed, my old friend. Some wings are too bird feathered colored.
Now that brings us
I don't know what the fuck just happened.
To February 28th of this year. Now, my former editor of a year and a half...
yeah, that's what it was. He couldn't even say that Ethan's friends don't play inside of dog shit. That's what this all started with, wasn't it? That's what it was, no?
Ago, did say some truly mean shit. He called Hila the C word. He said they're trying to kill their dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit. I'm
let's
sure. C word.
Hila Klein, how do you think you are morally above us all when you are just judging people based on where they're from? Okay, first of all, Yoav Galan is not a good guy. Palestinians don't learn to hate Jews at 2 years old, and you know all of that, and it's called a bad word. That's probably is true. Again, like I'm going to go back to when we were talking about from the river to the sea. Like it makes sense that you would learn that this other group is not good if they are oppressing you in some capacity, specifically the Israeli government. Israeli people are good, but the government is oppressive onto Palestinians. They also walked back the Galant argument they take. We've already talked about that. Okay.
He said they're trying to kill their dog.
He learned 2 years before Ethan's dog's death. Some H3 fans voiced concerns for his chronic vomiting, pointing to kidney failure. Got shunned by other fans. Ethan declined the advice, stayed the course. Cheese and treats. Fast forward, dog dies. Kidney failure. Okay, I don't even know how true this is.
Dog with cheddar cheese and a bunch of other shit, I'm sure. Ethan, at some point, discovers that iDubbbz former editor says this horrendous shit about him and Hila.
Oh, shit.
But no one's asking the question, where does Ethan get this information from? You see...
Are we going to say Destiny?
It would be very obviously a problem if Ethan was discovering this content by scrolling through Twitter looking for something to upset himself with.
That's what Hasan does all day. What are you talking about? Like, at the height of the Israel-Palestine conflict, he was scrolling through Twitter looking at unverified information saying that it was facts. What are you talking about? That's fucking incredible.
Has maybe set it up in such a way where his employees feel the need to send him this information. And that would be horrible. They shouldn't be doing that. They should be sending you things that are entertaining for your show that don't fucking trigger the hell out of you.
This is actually such true advice. The only problem is that Jesus, what the fuck was that? The only problem is iDubbbz is not entertaining anymore. So it kind of comes off as like, oh, what the fuck is this?
Why is there so much work being put into discovering this guy on Twitter who's barely getting any interactions?
True.
Linking him to me and posting on the Reddit when there's no work being put into who the fuck is the person on the Reddit who's posting this in the first place?
Oh my God.
If you do a little bit of research,
Let's do some research.
Seems like it's an account whose intention is to make Ethan crash out. One of the users on the Snark Reddit points this out. They're like, I've seen this account before.
Says Destiny right here. He got it in there. He's not going to say Destiny's name, but this is what it is.
This account has scraped its history.
If you say Destiny to make me look stupid, iDubbbz, I will fart in my own fucking pants right now.
And it's now trying to make Ethan burn bridges. This is within Ethan's own community. Like, this is the thing that he needs to be critical of. It's not me. So yes, I am willing to admit that my former editor was being very nasty, uncharitable, and fucked up towards Ethan and Hila on Twitter.
And so that prompted you to make this video that's incredibly uncharitable towards Ethan? Is that what we're doing here? Okay.
But Ethan and Hila are doing the same shit on their podcast. So I don't want to fucking hear it.
Terrorist supporter.
Kinda, yeah. Again, he had a 19-year-old fucking Houthi pirate come on, and he didn't push him on any intelligent questions. He asked him a bunch of dumb shit about fucking anime the entire time. He didn't ask him anything. That's it. Okay, he plays terrorist propaganda music on there. He supports Russia's annexation of Crimea. He downplays China fucking putting Muslims in camps. Hasan just hates the West. That's all it is. So, I guess sorry. Like, it's true. I don't know what to tell you. He just hates the West so much.
The CEO of Twitch.
Pedophile.
Whoa!
Wow.
Nicholas Diorio's girlfriend, dude. We haven't seen her in so fucking long, bro.
Now I'm going to watch and respond to the two podcast streams where Ethan and Hila call us spineless cowards.
Anyway, this guy was saying shit like that Hila's a Nazi, that she kills kids, that she went on like, she's at...
Wait, is this even a content? Is this even a content cop? Or is most of this just like, hey, he was mean to me? What the fuck?
Like a IDF baby killer, all this types of shit. And that's showing up right up on Anisa's and iDubbbz feed. My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
You don't know what's on my feed. What the fuck is happening? For all you know, I only use the For You tab. For all you know, I only use lists. For all you know, I'm seeing these things tweeted out by my editor of a year and a half ago and saying, God, that is nasty. I'm just not gonna throw someone away because they're having a parasocial weird moment. Just like I'm not gonna throw Ethan Klein away because he's having a parasocial weird crash out.
How many women I fucked? Hasan, by the way, thousands. Yeah, thousands. Let me ask Galia. These shoes do not go. I'm sorry. Oh my God.
These are the moments that are going to make Ethan look petty.
Hasan's the type of dude who watches himself in the mirror when he has sex.
True. I do that sometimes too, bro. Don't come at me.
Me on a 30-second delay on your stream.
Wait, that's what I'm... Wait, how does he know I'm watching already?
Because you've been talking about it for the last 5 minutes.
It's not a fucking petty beef. It's like, this guy is evil and he's doing anti-Semitism. These shoes do not go. I'm sorry.
There are many people, I'm sure, who have unfollowed you for the things that you've said and done. And I'm sure there are even more people who have stayed following you because they don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. They don't want to throw someone away because they've had some hard moments. We're all fucking human.
My good fucking friends who I stood by after all these fucking years can't find a spine to speak up. You know why? Because they'll get murdered.
And what you're saying to me is that I'm a bad friend and I'm a piece of shit. I'm spineless. I'm cowardly because I am following someone on Twitter.
Yeah, that's all he wanted him to say, right? Like, hey, to say that my kids don't play in dog shit.
Because they have mobilized such an insane harassment group. It's not bad enough that I have this group of people harassing me and everyone in my life.
I like him leaving the cough in there. Beautiful stuff.
Life. It's that people outside of this group, journalists, creators, are actively participating in this gaslighting to make it seem like I'm fucking crazy.
I mean, I don't know what he's getting at here. Like, yeah, people are gaslighting you. A lot of people gaslit me when I apologized. That was actually like the #1 type of harassment I got, was people gaslighting me and taking my newfound woke ideology to its extreme.
I probably done and stood by iDubbbz and Anisa more than anybody. I've stood by them when all the internet hated them.
I don't like that Ethan brought this up because it makes the relationship feel very transactional. Like, you know, we're just meant to support each other online despite our own personal morals or principles.
I don't think that that's true. I mean, relationships are to an extent transactional. I think it's really, he was like, hey, can you like publicly say you've met me and my family and that my kids don't play around in dog shit, please? I think that's all he's asking for. And by the way, he did respond with an entire content cop video instead of just a tweet. So that was cool. I like that part. My favorite, yeah.
But I'll say this. I don't think they're fucking any friends of mine. And certainly I don't think they're any fucking friends of mine based on the text conversation I had with them too before I even talked about it.
Ethan probably shouldn't have talked about this publicly. I'm going to be real with you. I feel like sometimes you don't have to move with such a purpose all the time. Sometimes you could chill. Keep this in the behind the scenes. Some of this stuff does not need to be the drama that it is. I'm not saying Ethan is not wrong about anything he says, just to be clear. But I feel like there should be a little bit better energy coming out about it. Like a little bit more safeguarding some of your thoughts. You know, keeping it on the cuff, under the cuff. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. But I mean, it just means more fun for us.
So I have nothing. Like, I don't need any fucking halfway friends, man.
I thought the text conversation that I had with him was...
Me neither, Ethan. You know what kind of a person is a halfway fan? Somebody who doesn't send somebody that's bald a hat. Not saying anything more. I have nothing else to say. So that's all I'm saying. Fucking, oh, this guy's bald. Like, we're gonna send him stuff. Let's send him. What should we not send him a hat? Oh, makes perfect sense. Oh wait, this guy's bald and wears hats all the time. Check it out. I'm not wearing one today. Oh, this guy's bald and he wears hats all the time. The fuck? What should we send him? What should we send him? I don't know. What should we send him, dude? Like, what should we send him? What do we send this guy that has a bunch of hats? What do we send this guy? What should we send? Oh, let's send this guy not hats. You know what I mean? Let's send him not hats, dude. Let's not send him any hats. Let's not send him any fucking hats, dude. Let's not send him any fucking hats, bro. I don't even know what I'm talking. I don't even know what's going on right now.
Very empathetic. I basically just said, like, I know you and Hila are experiencing a ton of harassment, and I essentially empathize with that, and I think there's something positive to get out of the conversation. So but he refused to talk on the phone unless I was willing to publicly say something about my former editor and Denims.
Yeah, why not? Why not just do that? Why not just be like, hey, these things are not nice? Denims seem to be encouraging the CPS poop call, the infamous CPS poop call.
As much as you don't want halfway friends, I also don't want that kind of halfway friend. I don't want someone who's going to give me like an ultimatum to have a conversation.
Could you not say something when this is like, imagine like one of you guys is like, Hasan actually wants to go to Gaza so he can strangle Israeli babies or some shit like that. I'd be like, you imagine me not saying something.
You're trying to make a one-to-one,
I guess,
comparison where there isn't one.
I guess. I mean, like, listen, I think that he should have just privately, or I think Ethan should have just started giving a fuck about iDubbbz and not like announced it publicly. I think that sometimes, revenge is a dish best served cold, you know?
This guy that I follow on Twitter is not in the same relationship as you and one of your current employees.
Whoa! Let's see if I know who all these people are. Zach. That's all we need to know.
Who is streaming with you 3 days a week, 3 hours a day for the past 10 years? At one point during the stream, Ethan and Hila bring up Adam McIntyre.
All right, gay representation.
Now, Adam does basically the same thing as my former editor. He's critical of Ethan and Hila, and he is sometimes uncharitable and nasty towards them.
Sometimes, sure.
Adam McIntyre needs to just like disappear. Like, guy is a piece of shit, like of the lowest order. I never.
Yo, not for nothing. Not for nothing. Adam McIntyre is a little bit Ethan and Hila's fault. Let's be fucking real here. All right, I'm not trying to be fucking rude. I'm not trying to be sensational here.
And it needs to just,
but
like,
you know, I do enjoy Ethan. But let's be real here. Okay, let's be real here. With that whole Colleen Ballinger shit, where she acted inappropriately, Ethan supported the false grooming narrative. Why do you think that this kid's gonna be so fucking inflated in his ego? You can't do stuff like that. You can't inflate somebody's ego by supporting a false grooming narrative. I'm not going to go through it again and again and again. I've talked about it before. You can go find my old take on it. But, like, she acted inappropriately for a content creator. She should have acted better. She wasn't trying to groom anybody. Ethan did the whole thing. He had a choir on. You know? So you kind of created this monster. Ethan has a habit of creating monsters and then them attacking him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. This is kind of true. You kind of fucked yourself on that one, doggy. You know what I mean? You gotta get your you gotta get your shit under control a little better. You can't be fucking doing that shit, bud. You know, this is a lesson learned. A lesson learned. Right? Stop supporting these weird terminally online people. Right? Stop supporting terminally online people who don't go out, who don't have any online, or excuse me, have any real friends. Okay? Start supporting people that need hats and that like Disney. That's all I'm saying.
I never even stood by him when he talked bad about Trisha having a kid and called him like the spawn of Satan. He was supposedly on our side. I would never even co-sign that.
Crazy.
I was disgusted by that statement too. I remember when he called her a kid the spawn of Satan.
I never said anything.
That's terrible. That is terrible.
And I was supposed to be like cheering on, but I wasn't going to cheer that on. That's
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Trisha, so.
Why do you forget that he called her children, which is something we would never do, the spawn
Never.
of Satan?
It's disgusting.
And
a
I
piece
mean,
of shit of a human.
it's just incredible who ends up being the good guys in this story. You know, it's really something.
Unfortunately, they never made a statement. They never said that they disagree with his statements about Trisha's baby until it's useful. Like, what is it, 3 years later? Like, I mean, you're talking about it.
Is that true? I don't know. Well, that's from 2022.
Like you were aware of it at the time, and that there was some amount of pressure or
I don't know. Maybe that's true.
enthusiasm for you to get down with that. And what it sounds like to me is,
Dude, Ethan needs to respond with his own content, Nick. I don't want to see some fucking online live. I don't want to see some live reaction. I mean, I do. I'm gonna watch it, but fuck it. Wait a minute. Are you fucking? This chatter just pointed this out. It says that they're botting likes. There's 30,000 views in this video with 33K likes. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. That doesn't make any sense unless I don't know. Maybe the views haven't updated. I don't know. Okay.
You know.
Oh, maybe this
basketball
is
did that
it
as well.
Maybe this is it. Maybe it's Hasan might just be going, "Hey, go like the video. Watch it through me, of course, but go like the video." Maybe that's what it is.
Is that you did see it at the time, and you were like, ooh, I don't like that. And you didn't endorse it, and you didn't fuck with it. Huh. It's almost like that is a fucking identical situation to me.
It's just incredible who ends up being the good guys in this story. You know, it's really something.
So yeah, the reason I'm bringing this up is because they're trying to like paint themselves as the good guys, and they're saying like, yeah, we strongly disavow things that are said, even about our enemies. We are the most immoral people on the internet. Unlike Ian and Anisa, who are fucking keeping to themselves. Also, why the fuck does Olivia get the pass?
What a fucking asshole for putting you in that position, Olivia. You're friends with him, and you don't have to say anything. But like, what a fucking piece of shit. What a bad friend to put you in that position just for some fucking clout. I guess.
What are we talking about?
People angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit. Okay, Olivia did not do anything, and
I don't
even know what's happening with that. What's the context of that?
The pass? Do I have to be an employee to get that treatment? Because then you'll just see me as an ally, or is it because Ethan is afraid of wrongful termination accusations and lawsuits?
And also,
that's a hell of a conspiracy, Ian. Okay. Incredible.
I don't mind putting my friend Olivia, who's apparently my real friend, in a terribly weird, fucking uncomfortable situation where you end up getting hate for no reason.
Also, don't frame it as like other people.
I think the difference maybe is that Ethan is a creator, you're a creator, Olivia is not a creator. It's a different exploration and navigation of the online atmosphere. Or maybe she wasn't involved. I don't really know, but okay.
People making it hard on Olivia. You're making it hard.
And she disavowed it. That makes sense.
Hard on all of these people. Please acknowledge your role in this whole fucking thing. Like, it's crazy how warm Ethan is to Olivia and saying how Olivia is essentially just a victim in this whole thing.
It gets people angry at you, like, oh, how can she be friends with him? Which is total bullshit.
But me and Anisa are spineless.
Which one was which?
Ethan, your whole system is scrambled. My intention isn't to throw the employees under the...
True. Their whole system is scrambled. That's why they're going trans. Incredible. By the way, that's not an insult. I love trans people. They look beautiful. Anisa looks very handsome here. I love it. I think it's a beautiful thing.
Us, like, you guys serve as the fucking foundation for calling out Ethan's hypocrisy on the whole subject. And I know that you guys have probably pushed back against Ethan over the years.
Sure. He invites criticism on his podcast from the people that he works with. So, yeah, no shit.
How often are you supposed to do that? Do you have to do that every fucking week? It kind of seems like it. And that's exhausting. I don't want to confront my boss. It's not my fucking job to confront my boss and say, today's segment...
Don't they do that all the time? Especially Dan constantly pushes back.
On rapists and pedophiles on Twitch was not like my favorite segment to be a part of.
Yeah, friends like these.
Oh yeah, and our other good friends.
Yeah.
Anisa and Ian. Thanks, Anisa.
I think it's also something to keep in mind. I don't know if you guys know this. This is Ethan's podcast. Like, I could sit here and I can criticize up, down, left, right, and sideways about how I think he should be playing it better optically. But this is Ethan's podcast. You know, so it's like they're working for Ethan's podcast. I mean, it's his fucking podcast. I think, what do you know what I mean? And I think he creates a perfectly fine dynamic for them to speak out and disagree with what he has to say.
Anisa, for standing up for your girl. I actually stood up for you so many times because, like, why would I not? It was crazy.
Yeah, why would you not? I mean, if that's truly what you believed and you weren't just going to use it later.
Of course I was going to stand by you. That's insane. It's absolutely insane and disgusting. But now you choose to hang out with people that would have a problem with you if you defended me.
Isn't she talking about Denims? Isn't that Denims there?
I'm not going to assume that Hila knows, but I'll say it for anyone who doesn't know. Anisa is half Lebanese and half Irish. For anyone unfamiliar, the Irish have been on the receiving end of a lot of oppression and genocide. On the part of the Lebanese, they've received a lot of oppression and attacks from the IDF. So
okay, but like, how does that explain Denims downplaying the rape of Israeli women and supporting the CPS call for Ethan's kids eating poop? You know, I don't know. iDubbbz keeps talking about this transactional nonsense, whatever bullshit, like blah, 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 blah. I understand what you're saying. Like he's trying to make the argument, or at least infer the argument, that Ethan is only friends with people to get things out of them, to extract some kind of resource, and that's like social resource. But then there's also the other side of, like, when you have friends, you're supposed to be more charitable to them. That's how I grew up. You know, so it's like, if you're willing to do something for your friend and they're not willing to uphold that friend to contract, I mean, it makes sense for them to be upset. But okay.
So Anisa is very well familiar with the propaganda and the shit coming out of Israel. Choosing now, out of all the times, to be like, please defend me.
Well, he's talking about defending him from the dog poop eating accusations.
No, we're not going to fucking defend you.
Rudy was saying that Palestinians are taught at 2 years old to kill Americans.
Do we have that one?
I mean, like, just the other day, Bibi fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about.
Well, that's different. Kill Americans. I don't know if they're taught to kill Americans, but I'm sure that they are not happy with Israel. I mean, they're probably being taught by Israel not to like them. You know, when you live in Gaza and you're getting attacked by, or you're oppressed by the Israeli government, that's obviously going to teach you something. Like, if a dog bites me, then I'm not calling Israelis or Jews dogs, but if a dog bites me, I just learned that dogs bite. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a complicated history, but like, I don't think that's necessarily wrong. If you're being oppressed from a young age by a government, you're probably going to dislike that government, and you're being taught to dislike that government. You know? Now, is that the framing that they're putting it in? Probably not. Right? That's not going to be the framing. But it's something to keep in mind.
He looked mean. I thought he was mean just because he looked mean.
No. It's not.
So yes, you caught us. We're not going to run to your defense when, I don't know, we follow people. We be following. That's one fucked up thing that you can say about Anisa and I, is when we're on Twitter, we do be following.
So,
the problem.
Okay, if you want to hang out with those people and have no spine and not.
Wait. You know, if it is a case where they're just following Denims, then it's probably, because and there's no more proof of association outside of a mutual follow on Twitter, then it is a fucking idiot move to call out, like, Anisa, to be clear. Like, in general, they shouldn't have went public with a lot of this. But, like, yeah, I mean, they probably follow them because they like them. Let's just be clear. That's probably what it is. Ethan's probably right. But I feel like you'd want to move forward with a little bit more than just like, oh, they mutually follow each other or something.
Not stand up for another girl that stood up for you. Enjoy your new friends.
She's friends with people like Denims.
I know. Yeah.
Which I'll show. Denims is actually participating.
Over half their current and former employees follow Denims.
Participating in this whole child protective service lie.
Yeah. And if you're friends with them, then you're.
Was there? I don't remember. Is there more proof of like them interacting with Denims in a greater way than just following them?
Saying what they're saying.
You'll notice that Ethan and Hila start.
Anisa hangs out with Denims. Is there like some kind of confirmation of that? Okay, wait. If that's true, are you? So they were. It was more than just a follow. They were commenting on each other's. Is that what it is? Oh, wait a minute. Holy fuck. Wait. Dude, iDubbbz is such a piece of shit. It's not just a mutual follow. Wait a minute. Holy fuck. Wait a minute. It goes so much further. It goes so much further than them just being mutuals on Twitter. They had a podcast together. They're friends. That's, you know, if you're going to disagree with what Ethan's doing, at least bring in the full context here. Holy fuck. Fuck. iDubbbz is doing this. That was crazy that I just did that. iDubbbz is doing the same fucking thing as the rest of these guys.
Talking about this Denims character. Originally, the complaint was about my former editor. He's been chatting shit about Ethan and Hila for the past year at least. They only care about it now because I guess it was spoon-fed to them via their Reddit that's clearly looking out for them. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, we are friends with Denims, but I would say it's the same level of friendship that we had with Ethan and Hila.
Yeah, but she was pushing support of people calling CPS on them, saying that his kids were rolling around and eating dog shit, playing other streamers saying these things without any contestment. Do you think that maybe that's the reason why you guys did the podcast? Your wife did a podcast with her. Denims is going around telling people that, or showing other people on her stream saying Ethan's kids eat poop and are getting sick from it, gives no contestment, and you wonder why they want you to pick and choose between the two? I don't know, man. I feel like if you're not willing to disavow active lies about somebody endangering their own child, maybe you're the problem. Maybe you're the problem. And honestly, this is fucking disgusting with how much he's doing the same like intentional omission of context in this whole video.
It's like kind of an internet friendship. We think that she's a good person, like we think Ethan and Hila are good people. Kind of a tricky situation. How can you possibly think that...
Anisa was making vague posts. Can you show me any of these vague posts? I wouldn't doubt it, but I want to see... can you show it to me? Can you guys like direct me to those?
They're both good people at their core. People can...
I don't think that's true.
...have crash out moments. People can say things that they don't mean. People can say things because they want internet clout and attention. I don't know.
This is, by the way, and I hate to go on this fucking woke rant. This is why people hate the fucking left right now. By the way, I am the left. I just want to be very clear. This forced over-empathizing. Yeah, you know, the people who put anti-Semitic dog whistles out there, insinuate that people make their kids eat shit and get them sick and kill their dogs and downplay the rape of certain people. Yeah, you know, they could just be good people. Wow. That's crazy. That's a crazy thing. That's so crazy. Maybe you get to a point where it's like, hey, this person is a bad person. Okay? Just because Denims, pretends, in my opinion, to support Palestine doesn't mean she's a good person. Obviously, you should be supporting Palestine and them getting their own state and then getting reparations for the harm that the Israeli government has put onto them. But just because you say Palestine good doesn't mean that you get a free pass to pass disgusting lies off about people. But, like, apparently it does when you're a coward afraid of your audience. How long has it been since iDubbbz has just been a fucking coward afraid of his own audience? This is one of the, from a creator perspective, one of the metrics I measure people by is how much of a fucking coward they are when it comes to their own audience. Okay? I'm sure that I've had audience locking at some points. Okay? I'm not going to say that I haven't. But, like, I am actively willing to disagree with my audience. And it is what it is. I've gotten significant heat sometimes. That's life. I'm happy with where I am with my audience. Ethan did that too, so I can respect that. This guy can't do it. This guy's a coward every single fucking time since he decided to. And I respected him being like, hey, I want to move forward better and I wish I wasn't as edgy. I respect that fundamentally. But he's gone so disproportionately that he's going on. He went on to some, and I'm never going to fucking forget this because I know he still supports. He went on to a podcast. There was like, what is that guy? Jinx or Minx or something? Some fucking black guy. And him being black is relevant to the story because this is a virtue signaling fuck over here. He used to just do reactions where he would just play the video and go, ah, and just like fucking chirp, right? iDubbbz called him out for that. Years later, he goes into a podcast with some black woman and she's like, yeah, that was racist of you. And iDubbbz was like, yeah, I know. Everybody does the same thing now. No, they don't. No, they don't. Some people do very low effort reactions. Not like that. And it's like, that's the kind of over apologetic bullshit that makes people not respect you. It's like coward. Was it Jinx? Okay. It's fucking ridiculous.
I think they're both probably guilty of saying things that they don't mean for internet clout and attention. Right now, one's a little bit more fucking nasty to me than the other.
Yeah, but you deserve it, bitch.
I just don't see how you can be my friend and also be friends with someone like that.
Well, you can't.
I agree.
So I already forgot about you.
I actually have a lot of friendships that are kind of that way, where it's like, you know, one of the
I have a lot of friendships that are like that.
friends doesn't fuck with the other friend, but there is someone in the middle who kind of fucks with both of them.
The difference is, to be honest with you, because I was going to watch this, I watched a little bit of the difference is that Ethan actually pushes back onto this fucking loser idiot Steiny. And it's like, hey, all this stuff is factually, like, it exists. Listen, you can interact with people that you disagree with if you're going to push back against them. Ethan had this guy on, and he was pushing back. He's like, Andrew Tate is a bad person. He is a sex trafficker. He is a rapist. All the information that's out there, just because the court case hasn't gone through, doesn't mean that he is not these things. So you could see him online publicly admitting it. There's a fundamental difference between being friendly with somebody that it has an idiot take, like their take on Andrew Tate, but pushing back against them when you see them versus just being a fucking coward. What are you talking about?
But separately, yeah, there's a lot of friendships that are like that. I'm not going to make you guys like meet up and kiss or anything. I get it. You guys are in fucking You're either my best friend who's deep-throating me to the base of my cock, or you are Satan.
Guys, we're not willing to say that his kids don't eat dog shit. They want to be filleted because we won't say your kids don't eat poop. Incredible.
Or the devil.
The last thing I said to Anisa, we were texting before I ever talked about it. She's like, I don't care about this guy. He's
the last thing you actually said was, hey, can I get a discount code on your OF?
nobody, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, then you'll have no problem publicly denouncing it, right? And then from there, the conversation ended.
She never replied.
Ethan, you can't even phrase it in a way that doesn't make you sound like you're being coercive and shitty. Well, then you should have no problem publicly denouncing it, right?
Is that how you guys read it when you heard it? You guys were sitting there giggling to each other when you heard that? Incredible.
Does that sound like a friend? It kind of sounds like some...
That's true. I can make them kiss. That's true. But I'm not going to. I'm not doing it.
...thing a powerful villain would say.
But it was so funny how she immediately went to comment everywhere, like on our subreddit. She immediately had to comment like, oh, he doesn't work with us anymore. But that was it. That's all she said.
But then say that you don't
Okay, do you have anything else to say for your friends, though?
One of the reasons Anisa was so quick to clarify things in your Reddit is because your Reddit was already talking about who this editor is. And they were spreading misinformation that it was our co-host on our podcast, Uncle Dane. So yeah.
Damn, that's crazy, man. They should disavow that too. Okay.
Yeah, the last thing we wanted...
Listen, I don't care. The problem is that, like, there are definitely criticisms on Ethan. I think that he's being a little petty when it comes to some of this, but this guy's a fucking coward that started the video with fucking active disinformation. And he's just been a coward since he decided to apologize. Apologizing isn't a bad thing to say, like, hey, I want to be a little less edgy. I regret some of the edgy shit that I did. Over apologizing, I just think it's pathetic. When I could tell that you don't have a spine to stand up against what you think your current audience is, I don't respect you. So you're never going to say something to me that's going to make me like shatter my... I mean, maybe you will, but I doubt that you're going to be able to say something that will make me shatter and change my fucking core belief on you.
Is this guy getting pulled into this mess, and you guys don't give a fuck. Would it have been nicer and more supportive to say, we don't agree with the things he's saying and we support Ethan and Neela? Sure.
Yeah, that sounds like a... Sure.
Sure. Like, yeah, that would have...
Hey, we don't support this guy and Ethan doesn't feed dog shit to his kid.
...been a nicer thing to say. Our silence means something. It means that we would like to pause this relationship until you figure your shit out. And then maybe we can find a moment in time, I don't know how long it'll be, but a moment in time in the future where things are a little bit easier to broach.
I like how he's just constantly like, we can still be friends. Probably not after this. The fundamentals of what he's saying is not a bad thing. Like the reality is that Ethan continuously talks about this topic so much that it's putting people in a place where they're feeling a little uncomfortable to talk about it. That's fine. But when he explains himself, it looks terrible. He's not just like, listen, man, things are like really toxic. I feel like you're overly talking about this topic to a point where it's like destructive for you and people around you, and it's just like frustrating. And so we're trying to just stay out of it. I could respect that. But when he starts the video off with fucking disinformation, it's not like the fundamental argument might make sense, but then the explanation for where it comes from doesn't make any sense. If someone's like, listen, bro, I just don't want to be stressed out with this shit. You guys keep talking about this shit. It's like, you got to stop. I don't want to be involved in it. Like, I generally agree with you, but like, chill the fuck out. That would have been fine. But that's not what they're doing. They're starting off with this fucking Hasan cum guzzle. What are you talking about?
I don't think we need to do it right now. But you've insisted. You've insisted that this is an important thing to address. I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me on your Insta.
Fuck you, piece of shit. Fuck my friends, too, who I have stood by all these years, who now can't find their spine. I don't need any fair weather friends. Damn, dude.
Instagram story. I would have been perfectly fine with you not blasting me and my wife on your podcast twice. I would be fine with you not brigading my comment section on my podcast that gets 3,000 views a week because I prefer to not do harassment campaigns and instead talk about Vampire's Kiss.
I just want to be very clear. The reason that your podcast doesn't do well isn't because you don't do drama. It's because you're fucking boring. So is your wife. Let's just be fucking real here. All right, let's just be absolutely... I mean, my wife's podcast and I, if we did a active, like, continuous podcast, we would get more views than you talking about dumb bullshit that we talk about, okay? If my wife and I decided to do our podcast more, which when we do our actual podcast, we tend to do decently well, like, we would do all right. That's what it comes down to. But we don't do it as consistently. Like a couple months ago, they're roughly the same views as yours. We're fucking boring. You guys, well, actually, we're not that as boring as you, apparently. We don't talk about, we just go around, we talk about our Disney trip. We talk about fucking real shit. You guys are bored. By the way, this is a shameless plug to go check this channel out, okay? All right? It's not because you don't talk about drama. It's because nobody wants to hear what you have to talk about. What life experience could you possibly get from two terminally online people? None. Nobody wants that shit anymore. Nobody wants to listen to fucking like former reality TV show hosts. That's what you really boil down to. Nobody gives a fuck about that anymore. What accolades do you guys have in your life? You used to do something that you completely disavowed. You didn't just disavow the toxic aspects of it. You completely disavowed all your old content, all your old followers, and all your old fans to some disproportionate degree. And like now, what are you left with? Terminally online perspectives. That's all you have. There's no real person there. There's nobody. There's nothing going on there. There's no real life anything. You guys don't leave your fucking house. You guys don't engage with the real world. You don't understand what's really going on. You're just not interesting people. Sorry. I don't know. That would be fucking rude. But sorry. All right.
Like they say something.
Unfortunately, my wife and I just don't want to put the energy into maintaining a podcast. We just don't have it in us right now. My wife works. She still doing very well at work. And we both try to work out, try and get healthier. And we do house cleaning, and we've been hosting parties and hanging out with family. But maybe when she's preggers, that's when we will expand.
Like he doesn't work for me, and I strongly disagree, and I support Ethan and Hila. The problem is
that she doesn't.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
She actually
thinks they have a point.
And also, let's be absolutely real. Ethan would be doing better if he stopped talking about this fucking Hasan all the time.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
Yeah, get him.
Go fuck yourself. What about your girl? This is what I'm talking about. This aggression that you're putting out into the world. What the fuck do you think we're gonna do?
Guys, you're giving bad vibes.
You think I'm gonna fucking sit on my hands when you do this shit? Like, this is nasty. We had such a fair response to what you guys were going through. We don't support harassment.
We're so empathetic.
It's a bad thing, but
you guys couldn't harass anybody if you wanted to.
But it happens, and you're perpetuating it.
Bro, they're not perpetuating people lying about their kids eating shit. This is what I'm talking about. What are you talking about? That's fucking dumb. What the fuck?
Fucking propagandist, lying scumbag, terrorist supporter. He probably sets up a mirror and jerks off watching himself. Dan KKK Clancy has a similar view of Hitler.
I mean, they did block Israeli people having the ability to make new accounts. So he probably, I don't know.
Because Dan Clancy, the Nazi, fucking anti-Semite.
You can't expect other people to stop harassing you if you continue to harass people. Let's think about it on a micro level.
I don't think that he's fucking doing harassment, but okay.
Have you ever been in a comment section and found someone to argue with?
No. I'm not a loser.
It doesn't stop. It can literally go on forever if you don't want to touch grass.
I mean, yeah, this was kind of like a line, what happened today, that should never be crossed, even by like the most cynical, toxic people. It's going to have ramifications in terms of how I conduct myself. In terms of these fair weather friends who are, so happy to be friends as long as they're getting something out of it.
Ethan, that is a rich thing to say. Like,
it's very sassy. Again, the fundamental of Ethan's talking about this too much is fine. It's just all the loaded fucking bullshit on top of it. This isn't even a fucking content nuke or content comp.
The H3 podcast, okay? There's a lot of friends of the show. There's even more fair weather friends of the show. Let's not get into this shit, okay?
Well, I think that he's talking about the proportionality of where your friendship is at versus what he feels the response should be. But yeah, sure.
Okay, that is so bizarre and insulting to suggest that I was only ever being friends with you to get something out of it.
No, I don't think that that's true. I think that you're a coward.
Very good, very big.
Oh, I'm friendly with you, and I'd say I'm a light friend because it's been pleasant hanging out with you. I've enjoyed your content over the years, and as of late, it's gotten really fucking shitty.
You want to know what I think, actually? Here's what I think. Let me explain what I think is the problem. Ethan Klein makes coward friends, okay? Ethan needs friends that'll set boundaries better, right? That's it. Right, like with my wife. Like, I don't think I'm a bad person. I've had toxic relationships before, and I've, in some ways, been like a bad force in the relationship. Like, I'll do a lot of things, and I'll steamroll people, right? Like, I've gotten to a pattern with like former exes of getting together with them having a problem, me solving it by like allowing them to not work and to move in with me, generating resentment when I feel like they aren't appreciating it enough, and then we kind of just start to hate each other, right? I met my wife. She sets very firm boundaries with me. We don't have these problems anymore. And like iDubbbz is definitely that person who just completely rolls over and like doesn't know how to set reasonable, firm boundaries in a respectful way. That's what it is. Like, I think that's what it is. Because like I could see Ethan and Neela being a little steamrolly sometimes. I don't think that it's because they're bad people. Because I mean, I can sometimes have that behavior as well, and I try not to. Or like I do in general. Like I remember a while ago, I was hanging out with my cousin, I love my cousin. To me, like a brother. You know, my uncle helped raise me. He's one of the 3 very prominent men in my life when I didn't have a father. And I like to pay for like everything. You know, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like a historic like makes me feel like a man. It's not me trying to be condescending. It just makes me feel like a man to be able to take care of people. And I had like I think I was drunk, but we had like a conversation about it because my wife said, he's like, you know, my wife said, she's like, you know, I feel like you shouldn't always offer to pay. I know we're doing really well, but for some people, it can make them feel uncomfortable. And I said, what do you mean? I'm just trying to do a nice thing. And then she says, well, if somebody tried to pay for you, how would you feel? And I was like, oh, I wouldn't like that. Right? So I ended up getting drunk and we had a conversation about it. And he's like, yeah, sometimes we feel like, and my mother does the same thing with my aunt, which is his mother. Sometimes we feel like, maybe sometimes you guys, we know you mean well, but sometimes, you know, we feel we don't want handouts. And I was like, oh shit. So I stopped the behavior, right? I was like, fuck, you know, because I'm not. So, you know what I mean? You need somebody to put you into perspective and check you sometimes. I don't think iDubbbz is the type of person that can necessarily do that, you know? I don't think he has he doesn't have a fucking spine. That's it.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
Ooh.
Who else? Who else do we want to burn today?
Who else do we want to burn today? You're making it so
Make a joke. Make a joke.
fucking obvious that this is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible. This is
Well, I mean, it's kind of their podcast, but sure.
not what podcasts are. There was a
Wait, what?
wait. This is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are.
That's not what podcasts are? Bro, like, you guys fucking dump on your podcast all the time. It was called She Ended My Career. You guys have, like, these fucking emotional meltdowns all the time on your podcast as well. What are you talking about? But okay. Hey, whatever.
There was a way to approach this to say, like, yeah, we feel hurt by you guys not saying something. You've decided to do the extra thing.
Wasn't that what the text message was about?
And attack. Now, in fairness, I am attacking back, but I feel very insulted and...
Yeah, they changed the name. I think they changed the name of the podcast after they finished having their fucking meltdown. The only difference is that nobody really cared that much about it. So it wasn't continued, I guess.
I feel defensive, and I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with you, and a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment.
It's so easy to be
like who?
Anti-racist. Everybody's anti-racist. Racism is the worst thing in the world, right? We fucking hate racists. Fuck racists.
Microaggressions.
The minute that they actually have to stick their neck out for somebody, the minute they have to actually risk something to put themselves in under scrutiny, to sacrifice something personally to stand up for racism, then all of a sudden it's like, hey, I don't want to get involved.
And that's drama.
How much do you care?
I don't do drama.
How much
Sorry.
do you actually care? Isn't that the whole point? Like,
That's a good point, because there is some anti-Semitism coming Ethan's way. Sure.
Realize that Ethan and Hila are more scared now than they've probably ever been. I feel like anti-Semitism is a thought in their heads now more than ever.
Is it just a thought in their heads, or do you think that there's any reason why they have that thought? Do you feel like there's a justifier when the data is showing heightened anti-Semitism after October 7th?
And it's not completely unjustified to be thinking about that sometimes.
Dude, just the way that this guy talks is so weaselly. He can't even say that they're justified in feeling this way. He has to talk around it like he's fucking licking the fucking schmegma out of Hasan's foreskin cock. This is ridiculous. You know that that's what that is. He's acknowledging that anti-Semitism is on the rise, but he doesn't want to outwardly say it because his best buddies that he was just dancing with in the beginning of the video will say that he's fucking wrong.
You guys are just hurt, and you're kind of like dancing around and making very like loose, poorly thought out analogies.
I'm sorry.
you care if you're
destination.
This is a nightmare.
Is this not you being hurt?
The dumb bitches
Dancing around? Hey guys, you're just hurt. Guys, Ethan, you're just hurt and you're dancing around. Ethan, you're hurt and dancing around. It's incredible. By the way, I went to the American Dream Mall and they had a Mr. Beast burger there. I didn't have it, but it's crazy.
For something that doesn't even apply to us. It's like me making this video is the standing up for something, and it's saying, fuck you, you guys are being bad. You know, I don't think you're bad people, but you're being bad. You're behaving poorly. You're hurting people.
I mean, go back to the civil rights. You think that the people who are like the white kids who are protesting with the black students, you think that they were just like not risking anything. Those kids who are marching with the black students and...
So in Ethan's analogy, he's the black
in their shoes, dude.
Black student.
Sorry, never mind.
And I'm the white student, but I'm the white student that's not, you know, marching by his side. I'm not doing the difficult thing. You're gonna have to march on your own, black student.
Marching with the black students and...
I mean, why is it inspiring? Why is it inspiring?
Well, and it's the same thing. To bring it back.
I will say that comparison is a little cringe. I'm not gonna lie. It is a little bit cringe. Let's be fucking real. Okay, chill out, Ethan. All right, you guys are not quite as oppressed as black people, but there is like a general understanding to what he's saying is that there is a rise in anti-Semitism, and Hasan does perpetuate that anti-Semitism.
Back to Hasan, just because
when you're signal boosting videos from Noah Samson that are actively saying that on the street videos of far right Israeli Jews are representative of the entirety of Israel, despite the fact that like 80% of Israel blames Netanyahu for October 7th, you are signal boosting anti-Semitism. Because that is a fact. That is what happened. So sorry, but you can't signal boost Noah Samson videos and not be fucking anti-Semitic.
But it kind of is the same thing. Like I was thinking about going to Gaza until I found out it's dangerous. He's a total performative activist that doesn't give a single fuck about the cause.
That's probably, I agree with that. But again, I think that Ethan needs to pick his battles better.
Been performed exquisitely, harassing one person and seamlessly transitioning into harassing another one. If anyone's been watching for the past fucking year, I'm pretty sure they have a good idea of your feelings about Hasan.
Like people like Anisa are the perfect.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm gonna be fucking absolutely real with you. I'm gonna be absolutely real. It's a real fucking moment here, okay? Because I'm self-aware enough to say this. I like Ethan. He's right about everything he's talking about. Optically, he could be doing a little better, but I think it's something to be said. And you know, I don't mean to shit on myself, but I mean something to be said where when most of your supporters are fucking, you know, drama creators. You gotta consider how you're putting yourself out there. Now, to be clear, Hasan is political drama. He's not a political content creator. He's not like a Sam Cedar or you know, a Jon Stewart. He's a political drama content creator, just like Destiny. So this whole thing is different spheres of drama creators. So I guess that's true. But you know, right now, what are your strongest supporters? Fucking Nicholas, Diorio, and Papa Gut. You know, it's fucking crazy. So, you know, I'm not saying we're bad stock. I think we're good people. You know, Nick's all right. He's kissing too many girls. He really needs to settle down with Mika's rhetoric. And again, everybody in this sphere is some kind of drama, whether it's like hardline drama or political drama. Everybody's drama, all of them. None of them do actual politics. None of them are like your Sam Cedars. Even Sam Cedars staying out of it, which makes sense. But yeah, Ethan's not right about what he says. Yes, he is. He's right about like almost everything that he's saying. Just to be clear, okay? But, you know.
Example, because she's friends with these people. She's friends with Denims. Denims is streaming this story about
I feel like it's going to fuck with his Creator Clash. I feel like his Creator Clash is not going to do well regardless, and this just gives him a fucking emotional excuse.
I'll show that, yeah.
Getting Giarda from the dog, whatever.
Because realistically speaking, if iDubbbz actually cared about his brand more than getting involved in this drama in this way, because that's what it really is, he wouldn't have risked his Creator Clash. You know, you can apply the same criticism to iDubbbz for what he's doing, where he's potentially risking Creator Clash by doing this. You can compare that to, like, I guess his criticism of Ethan risking his relationships with his co-hosts or the people that works under him. But I think his is worse.
I'm sorry. I'll accept this position.
Like, especially since iDubbbz last Creator Clash didn't yield the money that he wishes it did. Like, why would you put this at like some kind of a risk? You know,
from anyone except you guys. You have laid the groundwork for this type of streaming, which is watching people's shit and giving your unfiltered reaction to it.
What's wrong with doing that, buddy?
Why would you expect Anisa, of all people, to say something to Denims? Okay, so by that logic, we should be saying shit to you guys all the time. But I have a feeling you guys wouldn't like if we said shit like that to you all the time.
They just wanted you to disavow Denims, like, giving the okay to fucking call CPS for over dog poop.
Yeah, we've been respecting you as independent content creators. You can do what you want. We'll treat you as adults.
This is what happens when you're like pushing 30 and you don't have kids. By the way, hopefully we have kids soon. Obviously, Ethan and Neela are going to get riled up over people calling fucking CPS on their kids. I'm pretty sure that's where the crash out came from, though. They just want you to disavow Denims fucking, like, giving the okay to call CPS.
Maybe we shouldn't have been treating you as adults.
She could say so much, and it would make her a little bit uncomfortable, right? It's not comfortable. She'll get a little bit of shit.
Yeah, just for
but
saying
that would be commendable.
And by the way, it kind of speaks for itself that saying, hey, their house is claimed, you know, they're actually good people, like that's going to get you shit. That kind of says it all, doesn't it?
There isn't.
Like I said, all of this is because iDubbbz and Anisa won't be like, hey, their kid doesn't eat dog shit. Like, that's it. Like, this whole thing is because Ethan and Hila got really upset that one of Anisa's friends, Denims, that they did a podcast together with at one point, was signal boosting other people, claiming that Ethan was letting his kids eat poop and getting sick. And Ethan and Hila just wanted these two to be like, hey, tell people that you've been to our house and that it's clean and that this is wrong, and they can't do it. That's why this started. That's why this entire, you know, content cop exists. That's it.
A single person that I respect who would give a fuck if I publicly said that Ethan and Hila are great with their kids, Ethan and Hila didn't kill their dog, and Ethan and Hila wipe their asses or don't have giardia or whatever the fucking the prompt is.
You know what it is. He's too afraid to even say what he knows. You know that people are claiming that his kids are rolling around eating dog shit. What are you talking about?
No one would care. The only person who
would
give a fuck if I
it all, doesn't it?
There isn't a single person that I respect who would give a fuck if I publicly said,
I don't know what that means.
I'm not tweeting out because I'm not your fucking lap. The only person who would care is me, because I'm like, why did I tweet this out? I'm not tweeting out because I'm not your fucking lapdog. That's why I'm not tweeting it out.
You want to live and die on somebody, like not disavowing somebody, claiming that somebody's abusing their kids, other people's kids, like falsely? I don't understand.
I'm not saying it to my audience because I don't give a fuck. It's not my business.
That's, in my opinion, doing something that's
Yes, it
difficult
does.
and standing by your principles. That's the whole point. That's what makes standing by your principles admirable, is that it's not always easy.
Why are you saying that I'm not standing up for my principles when you don't even know what they are? I get, like, we're a little bit
Yeah, we don't either, bud.
past directly naming me, so we might have gone off on a tangent. If you maybe accepted the phone call,
I think this is like the point of the video where I'm just like, okay, like this guy's a loser, right? Like we know what's going on here. Like, dude, they just wanted you to. Ethan and Hila love their kids. They don't abuse their kids. They don't have their kids going rolling around in dog shit. One of your friends was saying that they were signal boosting people, calling CPS. That's a fucked up moment that happened, and they wanted you to be like, yo, this is wrong because you're friends with the person that was signal boosting people, saying that they should do that. Like CPS should be called. And if you can't disavow that, like, what's the point? What was lost here? What was lost? What friendship did Ethan lose? This guy's a coward. This guy's like unironically unfriendable. Like, there's no reason to have, this guy has no values, no morals, no constitution. And if you disagree with me, then you're not somebody that I care about. This is like loser shit. This is like the coldest take in the world, is that, you know, people love their family. Okay. Like, who gives a fuck? This rest of this video is going to be boring as shit. Cool.
call and we talked about it, you could have asked me, hey, what are your principles? And I can tell you the way I've been behaving is exactly in line with my principles.
Okay.
Now we're going to talk about the BDS list. We're going to start off with Frogan because obviously this is like as bad as it gets. If you're following Frogan, that can only mean that you're anti-Ethan. Oh, this is not a good start. Love of the H3 podcast. You are following Frogan, so that means that you are anti-Ethan. Sam, Mord Pie, friend of the show. Olivia, Ian, Daily.
Again, this isn't just about you following somebody. This is about your active friendship with Denims, but okay.
Dose of internet is anti-Ethan? Jesus, this is fucked up. Pokimane, comment etiquette. Oh shit, Asmongold's in here? Asmongold follows Frogan? No, Asmon. That means you're anti-Ethan. That's fucked up. We're gonna wanna avoid these creators at the top of the list, but one tier below them are the creators who associate with them. They're essentially endorsing all of their statements. You got me, you got Anisa, I think Hasan's in there. You'd think that Hasan would be on the top of the BDS list, but that's not the case. Hasan provides additional value for people. Ethan
Well, I don't know what that means.
can turn a blind eye to people collaborating with Hasan because that's what he did. You got to be the lowest of the low to be associating with the Frogans and the Denims of the world. To associate with Hasan,
I don't understand what that means.
that's what he did. You got
People like
Hasan provides additional value for people. Ethan can turn a blind eye to people collaborating with.
Are we talking about Theo Von? I mean, it's because they're not like deep into the involved and the fucking drama shit. Okay.
Hasan because that's what he did. You got to be the lowest of the low to be associating with the Frogans and the Denims of the world. To associate with Hasan, that just makes sense because he's famous and he's got a massive fan base. Also, Ethan still follows Hasan on Instagram, so Hasan is in his feed.
And that's showing up right up on Anisa's and iDubbbz feed.
It's important to remember that this is a living document and people can be removed or put onto it depending on how Ethan's feeling that day. You have this other tier of creators that exist below Hasan but are still anti-Ethan, but Ethan really doesn't want to bring your attention to these ones because it's kind of unpopular, you know? A lot of them are famous. It's no coincidence
These people, I'm pretty sure Theo Von just had him on a podcast.
that Ethan stays silent when these powerful, popular men are supporting Hasan. It's because Ethan is a
I don't even know who the fuck these two are.
coward. He's a bitch-made coward. I think Ethan has an unreasonable amount of respect for these comedians because they have power, they're quick, and I think he knows that they don't fuck with his ideology.
Okay.
But he's going to keep that to himself because the last thing that he wants to discover is that people that he
all because you couldn't say his kids didn't eat dog shit is fucking crazy.
respects and looks up to,
It's fucking wild. Holy shit.
they don't fuck with him.
Bill Burr came on. It was like the worst fucking show. It was just horrible. That was like my lowest moment on podcast history. We could talk about Bill Burr ruined my life. Bill Burr made Ethan go on Lexapro. I was prescribed it and it was in my bedside. And then it was the Bill Burr episode that made me finally start.
When Stavros goes on Hasan's stream and he mocks your content nuke,
I actually saw a really interesting video about you, man, and I don't know that I'm even comfortable being here anymore.
Oh no.
It really kind of shed light on you in a way.
Yeah.
You kind of like have leftist politics and stuff like that, and I actually feel betrayed.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually just here to let you know this is the last time I'm ever coming.
you don't fire back because you're coping. So you're just going to
What's the fire back? There's really nothing of substance to be said there. That's somebody who probably doesn't know too much about Hasan specifically. Because Hasan like looks squeaky clean from the outside. Generally speaking, optically he looks better. Not because he's like intelligent about keeping his optics tight. It's because like it's just where the atmosphere is right now. It's very easy to say, no, that's wrong. Everything is misinformation if you don't want to agree with it. Everything is wrong. Everything is conspiracy theory, despite the fact that we've shown like hard evidence of people like Noah Samson pushing like actual anti-Semitic sentiment. Doesn't matter, right? You could just say, no, no, no. We live in like a non-factual age, right? So, but what is he supposed to do with that one little thing? If anything, that shows that his barrier for calling somebody out isn't as like low as you'd say. He doesn't just go after everybody that will express a disagreeing perspective. It just depends on to what degree it is, right? And one of those degrees is saying your kids eat dog shit, dude.
going to tuck your tail between your legs and never mention on your podcast that mentions everything. You're bringing up some fucking connection I have on Twitter. Someone mocks you on a stream. You're not touching it. Fuck you. You're a coward. It's just his job. It's just what he does for his job. You know, he doesn't mean it. We're actually good friends. You know, he makes fun of everyone. It's not just me, right? Oh, also, I can't forget about Matt Lieb. Matt Lieb is in this like middle tier. His valuable association is Rhett and Link. So Rhett and Link, conveniently, are also in this category of popular and powerful men who Ethan does not want to burn bridges with. Although he's sniffing. He's sniffing around.
This guy, Matt Lieb, he works for Good Mythical Morning. Of all people,
But he did it with smaller content creators. What do you mean? Those people like actively call him out like aggressively. Theo Von didn't even call Ethan out. He showed like one thing from that fucking Stavros guy, whatever the hell his name is, being like, hey, I saw a content nuke about how you were like actually a radical leftist. Like he obviously didn't watch the content nuke and he's not super involved. Why go after him?
this guy, Matt Lieb, who apparently is a producer for Good Mythical Morning. Well, this guy works for Good Mythical Morning, acting like he's wholesome, and he's bringing on somebody that wants to kill my wife. Or in
Yeah, Bad Empanada is an actual fucking psychopath, so.
a video game. And I think he should be fired, frankly. And I hope he is fired. He's pathetic. And he interviewed a fucking, basically a terrorist.
I think Ethan only respects power right now, which
So you're just going to ignore Bad Empanada actually being an unhinged freak or what?
is one of the reasons I made this video in the first place, is because he thinks I'm weak. He thinks a lot of these other creators that
You are exceptionally weak.
he's gone out of his way to attack, he thinks that they're weak, and he
Well, not
thinks place is because he thinks I'm weak. He thinks a lot of these other creators that he's gone out of
not for nothing. She disappeared from the internet, so she very clearly is weak. And this guy lied about his interaction with Ethan verifiably. So we've watched all of this, but okay. I mean, she fucking dipped. She completely dipped. Yeah, she made her video and then she kind of disappeared for a little bit. She took a break. It was 4 months ago. She released one more after that and then took a little break and now she's back to posting. But she pretty much did disappear. So she's a little too weak for the drama sphere, which by the way is not even like a criticism. But this is Mrs. Diorio.
out of his way to attack. He thinks that they're weak, and he thinks they're a target that he can bully, he can manipulate, he can send lawsuits to, and
These are the people that, okay, so I just want to talk anymore, bro. These are people that are supporting CPS getting called on as kids. This guy's pushing just like flat out fucking disinformation about fucking Israeli people. Like, okay.
I want him to know that we're not going to be bullied. You're being a piece of shit, and we're going to call you out.
You're not going to bully me.
Here's the button. You've got a video and you've got an audio. We're hitting both.
Ethan slaps that button very zesty. What the fuck is happening right now?
I don't want to go there.
Yes.
There's no point.
Let's leave.
Yeah, there's no need.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. But shit, how pathetic are you? Don't worry if you don't have it all now. Hold on. I don't like pedophile. Like the Eye of Sauron. I see you. I see you out there, you fucking cockroach. You'll be living with your parents for a lot longer now, dude. Yes, please. I want to be a good Jew. I'm a good Jew. Please, guys, please.
Oh, yeah, I don't think it was that.
That was fine.
Big a deal.
You're going to do a whole section on the button? Okay. Great.
All the things. That,
Anywho.
it always surprises me what you think crosses over.
Well, I looked at it.
Right, I'm going to piss.
Olivia, and she's like, yes, do it.
Now let's talk about the button. Ethan
Why?
got this button, or kill switch, as a response to the controversy with Cutie Cinderella. He was not able to control himself in that moment, and instead of...
It was funny. It was a funny moment. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that somebody took somebody else's body and put her face onto it in a way that everybody knew it wasn't her. I'm sorry that she turned her stream on and decided to cry about it instead of crying privately and making a more professional statement, like, you know, crying performatively online. I'm sorry she did that. I'm sorry that somebody, Zach, of his own accord, played that song. I'm sorry about all those things. I'm so sorry. Okay? It's terrible. But the button's fine.
Figuring out how he can change his behavior, he spent $20,000.
That, yeah, and the NRA joke that he made, which, by the way, should never have said it, but I agree with the sentiment. There was a mass shooting there, and then you guys are going to hold like a gun show like a fucking week later in the same area. Crazy work. It's crazy.
Dan and Ela were like, we would kill button that right now if we could. I can't change who I am.
I know. That's why the kill button is on its way.
That's it. See, exactly.
He uses the button for everything. If his jokes don't land, he's hitting the button.
It was being presented as if the Jordan crying thing.
I hit the button.
Why?
I don't think I needed to, but you guys were giving me cricket, so I panicked.
If he's insecure about
okay,
getting something wrong, he's hitting the button.
But okay. What? Button for that? What on this frame could Ethan have responded to? Perhaps the country flag that he got wrong? Maybe. I don't know.
If he goes on a problematic tirade, he's hitting the button.
Before, look how sad. But yeah, it's not just that. Like their eyes are like big. I think you guys are wrong on this one. I think you guys are all wrong on this one.
I don't think he's unique in hitting the button. I think if all...
You could have made an argument that like he was trying to be safe edgy there, I guess. But this is so stupid. This fucking the button. We're criticizing the button he has now. Fucking Jesus Christ.
If us had buttons, we'd hit the button all the time. But if you don't have it, you operate differently. You think about what you're saying. You maybe plan for your show a little bit more. You maybe say, I'm not going to have my podcast be an emotional dumping ground for today. You instead say, ooh, it's important that we stay on topic. Also, the H3 community and Ethan
well, that is the topic, so.
himself use the phrase goblin mode all the time to excuse a lot of his shitty behavior or make...
I'm taking that one, by the way. I think I started goblin mode and then people took it and then I had to give it up, okay? Because you stole my fucking goblin mode. I think that's what happened. You know, probably because of my massive influence on the social atmosphere. My huge, massive influence.
Make it seem less bad.
I've been diagnosed with goblin mode, actually.
By claiming that what happens is he just gets into this like uncontrolled state he refers to as goblin mode.
I do not call myself goblin mode.
Yeah, oh, yeah, you did.
Ethan's just reclaiming the slur. You guys know that, like, goblins were originally an anti-Semitic trope, right? It's very wrong. That's what it started with. Ethan's just reclaiming it. That's the N-word for the Jews. By the way, I'm ethnically Jewish. Leave me alone, YouTube. Stop fucking with me. Same with my people. According to Ethan, we're also kind of black, I guess. I don't know. Just kidding. Yeah. So.
Goblin mode, is that what you're calling Tourette's now? To all victims of goblin mode, I would like to issue an apology.
Well, you are goblin mode today. You're goblin mode. Look how many times you paused.
I'm trying, bro.
And I don't think there's no room for using the term goblin mode. I like the idea that you're
When
defending
do you think he's allowed to use it?
yourself and the little guy by going goblin mode when a big corporation or a big entity is trying to attack you.
Like, if you fuck me over, if you steal money from me, if you patronize me, if you do any of this shit like you're trying to do to me, treat me like a fucking idiot, I'm crazy, dude.
How much Ethan content did you watch to make this fucking video? Oh my god. It's crazy because it's very clear that iDubbbz watched like an extraordinary amount of Ethan content, or he just went to like a Hasan Reddit, I don't know. And yet it's just still so shallow. It's holy fuck.
I've gone fucking goblin mode over way less.
But you not thinking about what you're saying, not, reflecting on your behavior, not changing your behavior, that's not goblin mode. That's being a child. Let's talk about the crew. I think the crew has been put in the worst working environment that you possibly can be for a fucking podcast.
Thank you for clarifying for a podcast. I used to work a union job where they were taking my vacation away and my union didn't do anything about it. For a second there, I thought we were going to be too terminally online. Still, what position are they in? The position where they get paid probably pretty well. And they get to speak out against their boss like live without punishment. Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. What a horrible environment.
Every crew member has it bad. To be around Ethan, period, it would be a nightmare right now.
I'm standing by every fucking syllable of that, okay? What she did.
Good stuff. I always love it when people who've never worked a real meaningful job criticize this. And by the way, a real job to me is when you actually have like adult fucking responsibilities to that job. McDonald's is a real job if you're an adult that has to work that to provide for your family.
It was abhorrent. And by the way,
just don't listen. Your critique of her is correct. It's just people are sensitive about women being called that word, and so
like, how pathetic are you? You know what I mean? Well, I'm not assuming his pronouns, and fuck all these people.
He was right about this one, by the way. This was about Bo Blacks. By the way, publicly going on record, you send this to Nicholas Diorio. I think Bo Blacks is not that bad. They just got to chill a little bit, get their shit back together, just chill the fuck out and get back on their content grind, right? But Boblocks didn't have one pronoun. They go by like all the pronouns. And Ethan called Boblocks he, which is the pronoun he goes by. And people were like, Ethan, you're transphobic. And he's like, no, I'm respecting his pronouns. And he was. So he was right. So why the fuck are you melting down about this? iDubbbz. Incredible.
Go ahead. And I'm not yelling at you. I'm just... Kelly is a black woman, right?
Yes.
Maziel is a...
Korean.
Oh, Dan, come on. You're being such a buzzkill. Yeah, I don't know Korean. I asked if Koreans are POCs. God.
You know, Dan's in the bathroom. Let's just not do this right now.
I asked if Korean people are POCs.
The one time the button didn't
Or what? I don't even know what he's saying.
work, and we listened to how he spoke to AB without thinking that the internet was going to hear it. It was rude. It was nasty, and it didn't have this caveat of like, I'm not mad at you. It was anger, and it was uncalled for.
Use they get access to cover most of it.
Doing it.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry.
No. Just like this is what I'm talking about when it's always like
We need to get home for our kids.
It's like, bro.
Oh, no, I didn't want to finish it right now. I just I'm not finishing Wednesday.
Friday.
You guys, like...
All right, I'm taking my hand up. What? Okay. Well,
Oh no, a minor dispute at work. He was so rude. Can you fucking guys shut the fuck up about this goddamn moment here? It's so goddamn boring when you guys who've never worked a real fucking job in your life sit here and claim that they were horribly treated there. Okay, they wanted to get home to their kids and they wanted to end the segment. Oh no, that's not relatable at all to want to hang out with your kids. I guess not for my dad. And so they're like, hey, can we end this? Like, stop going on. That's it. Oh, it was a little anger. Oh, no, people get angry sometimes. Guys, we're so deeply emotional beings. My name's iDubbbz and Anisa. We're so deep and emotional. We understand. We're empaths. Oh, you got angry at somebody because you wanted to go home to their kids? Oh, you want me to disavow people saying your kids eat dog shit? Oh, you're such a bad person. Blah, 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 blah. Bro, I've gotten to shouting matches with my fucking bosses before, and I still respect my bosses when I used to work there. Shit happens, bro. I'm not saying you should get to shouting matches, but shut the fuck up. Just shut up. It's not that big of a deal. People get angry. They get worked up. It's not that big of a deal. I'm sure they apologize. I think they apologized live. Who cares? They wanted to see their fucking kid. Go to get a job. Jesus Christ, you guys act like everything is... He didn't speak to them nicely one time. Oh my God, get a fucking job, dude. Go work a fucking real job. What the fuck are you guys doing? Shut the fuck up. Holy fuck. It's so boring. These people are so goddamn boring. Jesus Christ.
all that. Thanks, Button.
And he didn't want to take accountability for it. He immediately wanted to deflect, and he wanted to say that the button fucked him.
First of all, I appreciate the hard work.
I know you do.
And I loved it, and I really enjoy it. But it's like every time we do it, it's like the show is what it is. And
I know. I was being selfish.
No, dude, that button f***ed me, dude. Like, can you imagine that button f***ing me over like that?
The button fucked you? AB fucked you? Who fucked you? You fucked yourself by being an asshole. He makes it seem like he's not a tyrant of a boss.
We're doing it.
What are you
It's
doing?
so awkward and terrible. I appreciate
The tyrant of a boss? Holy fuck, this guy's a moron. Dude, I don't even know. You just fucking cringe. You're a loser. A tyrant of a boss? Bro, these people can disagree with him online. A tyrant of a boss? Oh my God. I don't even think I could sit here and criticize iDubbbz to anybody that, unless you actually have ever worked a regular job before. Because Jesus Christ, man. I remember fucking shouting at my goddamn boss back and forth over some dumbass shit. Fucking tyrant of a boss. It's a minor disagreement where somebody's expressing frustration. Oh, Jesus Christ. Such a fucking loser. Oh my Lord.
Appreciate the hard work.
I know you do.
And I loved it.
Or my bosses were taking away my vacation. That, I would say, is more tyrannical than having a minor disagreement online because they wanted to see their kids. Oh my God. Dude, this is exhausting. These people are so dumb.
And I really enjoy it.
Dan, his producer, is...
I swear to God, I'm fucking... Dude, we got 20 minutes left. I'm going to crash out. I fucking know it. This is... Nothing makes me crash out more than disconnected millionaires bitching about tyrannical workplace environments that have never worked a real job. I'm going to melt down, dude.
constantly clarifying things on the air and making it clear that what Ethan said was a joke. Ethan is being overly defensive, or he's saying things that are like not true and he's exaggerating.
People saw that. They thought that was what you searched to pull up my photo. So I'm just clarifying.
Thank you for clarifying.
Okay.
I appreciate you doing that.
Oh no, they have fact-checking clarifications.
God forbid.
It's okay because I buttoned it.
Why?
Because
it's not that big of a deal, man.
Just your
how
inability to.
No, hold on, Dan. How does it change anything? People knowing that we did it.
It's fun when it's a surprise.
Okay, well,
you just asked how it changed.
Surprise them on your show.
Okay, all right.
You know, I understand that that's.
What am I supposed to get out of that? Dan's job is to argue with Ethan sometimes and stand his ground, and he never gets punished for it. What am I supposed to look at there, dude?
His role, and he's, you know, Ethan's made that his job, or Dan's made it his job. Ethan leans on it so.
God, I love this comment. iDubbbz the type to never have experienced a mandatory 12-hour on a shift on a Saturday. True, bro. Like I remember, like we would get snowstorms at my job, and like you're like, hey, we need you to stay longer so that you could fucking help shovel out and keep like the fucking yard clean. It's like, okay, it's life, man. Like, okay, hey, you got to come in on a snowstorm because you got to clean this. Oh fuck, this sucks. But God forbid you're fucking on a live stream show where you're getting paid well, and oh, just a little bit, he's a little angry at me. Oh, this is abusive.
So heavily. In the same way that he leans on the button. Ethan is leaning on all of these people to be adults and look after his behavior and give all of this emotional and empathetic energy for Ethan, but Ethan refuses to give it back to them. Also,
what? Dude, what are you talking about? Bro, you and your wife need to go outside more. Because I know what happened. Him and his wife sat down every day. This is what you know. You want to know what my wife and I talk about? We talk about, we usually do a recap when we fuck because that shit's pretty good. But we'll talk about parties that we're going to throw or different people or ideas. Like, you know, we're having a Star Wars party soon. We're hosting Easter. I'm excited about that. I'm having some family come over. You know, I like family a lot. I'm very family oriented. We talk about like real stuff. We talk about her job. You know, I know it's a meme, but she's like a behavioral specialist. So, like we talk about different things, and we talk about like, you know, complex social ideas and stuff like that. You'd be surprised, you know, because part of her work, especially people with disabilities, these guys talk about Ethan all day. They wake up and they talk about Ethan the whole fucking day, and they overcomplicate the thoughts on everything that's going on. That's all they do. They just sit there and go, yeah, I think that Ethan's immature and he's projecting this and he's doing this and he's doing this. And it's just like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You know, and you want to know what? Ethan's probably a little terminally online and disconnected. Let's be absolutely real. He's been rich for a long time. You can never fully grasp onto that, like who you were when you were in the shit. You know, like me, I'm probably a little disconnected too. I used to work a real job. I'm very privileged with what I do now. I try to stay intact, but you know what? There's levels of it where I'm probably not. My wife is more intact. She works a real job, so it makes it easier for me too. But dude, this is like the most terminally online shit I've ever fucking seen in my life. Like for real, go touch grass. Listen. I just wanted to say something really quickly. Stop calling Hasan Hamas Piker. Start calling Hasan Hasan Parker. Hasan Parker triggers him worse than anything else. Worse than saying he's Shank's nephew. Worse than Hamas Piker. Call him Hasan Parker. Please. He gets so triggered by it. I'm not kidding. I had a fan who went and started talking to Dean Withers for some reason and called Hasan Parker. And when Hasan reacted to it on his stream, he got upset about it. It's just funnier because there's no explanation for why it's wrong. Okay? That's what I want you guys to do. Hasan Parker. That's it. Take that note.
Also, let's talk about AB and Lena, two Lebanese employees, and you just continue to talk about the conflict like they
don't
exist.
Don't they exist in the room, and don't they give their perspective on it too?
Would be nicer, a lot nicer for you.
Hey guys, how about we talk about that? You hire people, Lebanese people. That's disgusting of you, Ethan. What's the take here? I don't understand.
To shut the fuck up about it. You're allowed to do that.
Hezbollah in Syria alone killed double that much. All right, I'm gonna move on. I just want to play Hasan talking about bad empanada.
Ethan doesn't want to change, and he wants to bring the entire crew down with him.
So true, dude. They're so fucked.
Because he's putting them in this position every day, right? But it's more
getting paid.
More important that he gets this shit off his chest.
I'm sorry. It's just so interesting that iDubbbz is having this big criticism that Ethan is putting his crew in a rough spot. And, you know, to me, the undertone is that he could be risking their careers. Bro, you're coming out with this dog shit ass hit piece on Ethan right when you're about to go with Creator Clash 3. After the second one failed. You think if you gave a fuck about these different charity events and actually having a successful business, you wouldn't be engaging in petty drama, which this is. This is pretending to care about Palestine, but really just bitching and moaning about Ethan's button. What?
It's more important that he dumps. We're all familiar with Goblin mode. Well, Ethan debuted a new mode recently.
And by the way, my ratio is pretty good.
Recently? This is him like 2 years ago.
Like I'm looking at like 20 Goblin modes to 1 too far. Demon mode, let's call it.
Sorry, you just said this was recently. Ethan looks like he's 3 of himself right now. What are you talking about?
What makes demon mode different than goblin mode?
I don't know, dude.
Is goblins aren't really like an intimidating, powerful force.
What are you talking about, dude? You ever play World of Warcraft? I know you do, but you suck at it.
If the goblin is persistent, it can get what it wants.
When I'm
okay.
done with the other one, the big one that's dropping probably next week, my full attention is going to you, George. Like the Eye of Sauron. I see you out there, you fucking cockroach.
Ethan, the reason the internet got behind you when you were being sued by Matt Haas or when you were being sued by Ryan Kavanaugh is because people saw you as the underdog. They saw you as the guy who's defending the common man.
I'm suing, and I cannot wait for you guys to read it. At the moment, we are writing 3 complaints for 3 people.
You are doing the classic rich asshole thing. You have a deficit of friends, you have a surplus of enemies. You feel really bad, you feel hurt, but you also have a surplus of money. So what can you do? You can use that.
You can give me a free hat. What the fuck, dude? I don't feel bad about making that joke over again because I'm not joking, Ethan, motherfucker.
Money to bully and intimidate people. These public legal threats that you're making to fellow creators, these legal threats that you're making to people on Reddit, on Twitter.
I mean, he's actually sat out and like read the Noah Samson one. He looks like he has some decently solid ground on it.
You're like, I'm hurt. These people are hurting me. What do I do to stop it? There's nothing I can do to stop it. I'm powerless.
Well, if it's actually defamation, why not?
No, you have a ton of power. You have a ton of options. You have a ton of choice. That's exactly what
Would you want to hire a hitman? Like, I don't care.
you get for being filthy rich, is you can do all of these things.
Oh, God, what a bad guy. Oh.
I never want to sue someone for defamation, but like at what point do you kind of fucking have to? I mean, this is like basically someone calling you a pedophile. Be like, yeah, no, Ethan's a pedophile.
Dan Clancy or whatever, like the CEO of Twitch, and be
Pedophile. Dan KKK.
He shouldn't be saying that. That one's a little hypocritical.
Clancy has a similar view of Hitler. Because Dan Clancy,
Well, there's some arguments to be made that Twitch seems to have levels of anti-Semitism running through them. You know?
Nazi. Fucking anti-Semite. There are certain things you can accuse people of that rise above to make it like actionable, which is like wrongfully accusing someone of being a pedophile, a sex criminal, a murderer, shit like that. Dan Clancy now, in other words, he is a pedophile.
You have so much less to go off of saying that than anybody has about
based
Dream.
on his looks. Just on his based on his
Well,
looks.
at least you're self-aware.
That's 100% a joke. I have no evidence to conclude that he is.
All right. Well, at least he admitted that he has no evidence there.
One of the more notable legal threats that Ethan has sent out recently is against...
I think he said that because this is kind of based a little bit when Dan Clancy's scrolling through his fucking feed. He's just all fucking like girls in their bikinis and shit on Twitch, and this motherfucker didn't even hide it. He's like scrolling through it for some kind of Twitch advertisement thing, and he's like, look, we have the new fucking basically TikTok, and it's just like all tits. It's all like young girl tits. Obviously they're like 18 plus probably, you know, but it's just like fucking crazy.
Since Noah Samson.
I have nothing but vibes to gain, and potentially your money as well. Don't worry if you don't have it all now. I'll garnish your wages. You're going to be living with your parents for a lot longer, buddy. 26, you know what I mean? Try 46.
Noah made a video that was critical of Ethan and other content creators when they're...
Noah made a video where he said that Israel is all complicit in everything. Like, there's literally... I watched the video and I reacted to it, and it took a lot because there was so much disinformation in it. There was a point where Noah was doing an on the street. He was reviewing on the street content of people, of somebody going around in Israel asking people about like their perspective on Palestinians, and I think specifically Palestinian children. He found a bunch of far right wing people saying that they don't care about Palestinian children. And then Noah even acknowledged that on the street content is not a good gauge for a society, but then said it's different with Israel and pushed the idea that all of Israel hates Gazan children, Palestinian children, despite the fact that, again, most of these people in Israel blame Netanyahu for October 7th. So this guy hates Jews. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, you can cope as hard as you want. I don't care. That's disgusting shit, dude. That's like fucking pathetic. Like, it's loser shit.
talking about Israel and Palestine. I mean, the way he's talking about Noah on his podcast is...
I guarantee you that iDubbbz didn't even watch it.
So fucking creepy and weird.
Is this a new thing? This is a new thing. This happened during the show. Upon initial examination, it seems to check...
Did that meme? He did. You know, right? I can't believe I just did that. A TikTok meme?
Out, and it's not great for young Noah.
Can I say that? Don't say it yet.
I'll say it.
So he's a rape.
He's doing.
So of course his standard. I don't know what he's accused of, so I'm not actually going to say. But
Ethan brought on a former partner of Noah to basically just shit talk him and say that he's a bad partner. But that's
yes, I thought that was stupid of Ethan to do. I thought it was dumb. I thought it was petty. Like basically, it boiled down to. They were having a casual relationship, and apparently it was like, hey, if you can sleep with other people, just wear a condom with me and those other people. And apparently Noah was sleeping with other people and then wear a condom with her. So like, yeah, sure. Like it's fucking, it was, I found it to be stupid. Sure. But okay, cool.
That's all that Ethan was able to extract out of it.
But I like how you can run defense for the anti-Semitic hit piece against Ethan, but then like criticize Ethan for being a little, petty, very petty. in that instance is pretty crazy, the double standard.
are not accusing him of committing any crimes or doing R-word or anything like that. The accusation is that he's a sleaze.
Absolutely. Noah
Yeah.
Samson, as far as I know, is not a rapist.
Fuck you to Noah Samson, who's not just a liar and a scumbag, but also a creep, allegedly. Allegedly.
Now let's talk about the left-leaning Democrat.
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things.
The thing
Yeah, that's what Hasan says. He even showed a point in the video where Hasan talks about how he there's like a whole thing in the video about how he talks about how he suppresses his actual opinions. He pretends to be a little bit more normal, but then he's actually much more radical. Like, whatever, who cares? Okay, cool.
thing that made me start to question Ethan's intentions is that when he was suggested to talk to Sam Cedar, a fellow progressive, a guy that Ethan respects and looks up to,
He works with Sam Cedar at the Majority Report. I respect him and what they do there.
he kept saying that it was racist or anti-Semitic to suggest that he talked to someone who's within the same ethnic group as him.
He was saying, yeah, he was saying Hasan is being anti-Semitic, and Hasan just wants him to talk to his chosen Jew to communicate to him. Yeah, considering Ethan's done a good job of showing that Hasan's being anti-Semitic, I think that's a reasonable claim to make.
That's why I said yesterday, I urge Ethan.
I think Sam Cedar is in the position where he understands the optics, and Sam Cedar doesn't necessarily care for the drama side, which is this is the political trauma side. He cares more for the actual productive political conversational side. And so he knows he has to be optically better at the conversation. And so, he's not going to sit here and absolutely fucking dumpster Hasan and be like, yeah, you're actually being anti-Semitic. He's more interested in generating an audience to follow him for his politics, which you will change your perspective probably if you engage with Sam Cedar to a less radicalized a less anti-Israel, less radical anti-Israel perspective,
to talk to Sam Cedar. There are very thoughtful, very kind anti-Zionist Jews out there that he could talk to. I don't think that I will be able to reach him.
What's the insinuation that I only listen to other Jewish people? You need to talk to my pre-approved list of Jews that agree with me on everything. It doesn't matter if they're Jewish, dude. It doesn't matter if they're fucking Jewish. I think most Jews.
I don't think Jews at large view it. I don't think that is the.
In what position are you to even say that?
It's not motivated by myself. It's motivated by Jews against anti-Zionist Jews.
How can you speak for my entire ethnic group? I find that really interesting.
Ethan, I don't know what to fucking.
I don't understand what you thought you showed us there. What was your point? Ethan has been to Israel. Wouldn't he understand the general Jewish sentiment more? At least the Israeli Jew. But okay, cool.
Tell you, this is step one of having a leftist ideology is recognizing our race, religion, nationality, all this shit, all shape our experiences as people.
That's the reason why it'd be better served to have this conversation not with myself, but with an anti-Zionist Jewish person.
This, by the way, that's why Hasan looks like he's more right, because he looks in these more pivotal moments, looks like he's calmer and better communication. Well, he is. He looks calmer and he communicates that perspective better, and people latch onto that and go let me put this in my shit hit piece about Ethan Klein, right? That's a big part of it. That's a big part of what's going on. That's Ethan has to play optics better, in my opinion.
Why does it matter if they're Jewish?
Because I'm not Jewish, and you've said in this conversation that how can you tell me how to feel about the situation?
Yeah, but how is one person a representative of Jews at large? I'm just telling you how Jewish people around the world interpret that phrase.
So yes, Ethan.
Yes, he's talking about it from the river to the sea. Yes.
On occasion, you might be suggested to talk to someone who has some crossover with you. It doesn't have to be your ethnicity. It could possibly be someone who shares progressive ideology with you. It could possibly be someone who is of your same gender. I think Ethan understands this concept very well. He listened to these women on his show when they told him that he shouldn't be calling women bitches.
This bitch is intolerable. You are such a nasty fucking bitch, Cam.
I don't know if you can call her a bitch, though.
She is a bitch. She's a fucking bitch. You're right. I call her a see you next Tuesday.
Listen, I'm curious what do Lena and Sam think about it.
I wouldn't be okay with that.
Yeah.
I feel like that it's for the girlies, Ethan. But
This is Ethan not being a woman, using a word that women generally don't like, versus an anti-Semite sitting here trying to educate him on what is and isn't anti-Semitic. It's okay. You got him on that comparison, bud.
You guys all seem to be in consensus that it's in poor form. I think to respect the women here in the room, I'm going to have to pass on saying that.
The infantilization of Ethan Klein is
That's your big one? Okay.
fucking nauseating. He's not a child.
Who the fuck infantilizes Ethan Klein? Ethan Klein is... We're at a point now where people are censoring the word, the name Ethan Klein, and insinuating it's a slur. You just make up... that doesn't even make sense here. The fuck is infantilizing Ethan Klein?
He is absolutely capable of looking into Hasan, learning about his politics,
You're so
interviewing,
true, dude. You're so right, bro.
doing loads of things to figure out where he stands.
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things. And for the first time, I noticed an inordinate amount of radical, hardcore leftists. I mean, I thought we were social democrats, not whatever this was. This comment from Hasan really started to sound some alarms in my head. I was already getting uncomfortable with our partnership. I started to wonder if I had any idea who this guy actually is.
You made how many episodes with Hasan? This guy made a fucking program with the biggest mega leftist on the platform. Now he's acting like he was tricked and he was incapable of figuring out what this guy's beliefs were. Bro,
I mean, again, if you watch it, Ethan does a good job showing that Hasan will, with Hasan's words, I believe, are mask his power level when it comes to how radical his perspective is. He pretends to be more of like a reasonable, left-leaning individual that advocates for like healthcare and better pay, and it turns out that he really wants to like deconstruct the system, and he just hates the West, and he hides it pretty well. Yeah, okay.
Well, I didn't make the fucking leftist program. You did. You made fucking, what, 60 some odd episodes of this shit for hours talking to this guy? You didn't have a problem with any of it until, Ethan talks about being...
You literally showed a clip of him talking about his debate, his capitalism debate, way before the October 7th. You just look stupid right there. You just look like an idiot. You didn't have a problem with him until October 7th? You just referenced a moment where he was having a debate with Hasan about capitalism months before this. What are you talking about? Like, you make yourself look stupid in your own fucking video if anybody, like, applies any level of fucking thought to it. It doesn't even have to be critical thought. It just has to be, like, fucking literal drool brain thought. What?
Being aware of Hasan's 9/11 comments, and then sort of leaves it at that. Like it was just a joke. Actually, I think Ethan describes them as edgy moments or jokes.
You might remember him from such classics as...
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it. I'm saying it.
Now, to be clear, I knew about all these edgy and controversial jokes at the time we made the show together, because who am I to judge?
No, Ethan, those aren't jokes, right? When someone makes a controversial statement like that, that's not them trying to be funny. I can understand why you would conflate the two.
Hasan says it was a joke. Wait, what? I'm almost guaranteeing you that Hasan would say that it was like a sensationalized joke. Oh no, you know what he says? He said something stupid, and he's like, well, I actually was just trying to have the conversation about how like the America's involvement in the Middle East caused 9/11. Yeah, he says it like that on purpose. It's because he's trying to be sensational to get views. He's trying to be fucking pathetic clickbait, drama politics. That's what he does.
That is someone who is extremely frustrated and passionate about a particular topic. In this,
so passionate about people dying in 9/11. It's awesome. I love it so much. That's your take, by the way, iDubbbz. It's incredible. Me personally, I think 9/11 was bad. Give me a cheer. Cheer for me.
Case, American imperialism and terrorism. You could have looked into that. You could have talked to Hasan a little bit more and found out what his international politics opinions are.
Yeah, it's just West bad. That's why he justifies Crimea getting annexed and Muslims getting put into camps in China. It's disgusting behavior, but it's on for you.
But you wouldn't even need to do that. You can look at it online. You're not a victim. You weren't tricked. You made 60 some odd episodes. If you didn't want to go down this route, you shouldn't have done it. But that was your fucking choice. You did it. You are an adult. When Ethan and Hila are watching Matt Lieb saying that one state doesn't represent all Jews, they cannot wrap their heads around the idea.
No single person that represents all Jews.
I'm just telling you how Jewish people around the world interpret that phrase.
No single person that represents all Jews, as no single state represents all Jews.
This is another weird thing.
Oh my God.
Israel, this is a lie that I see Hasan and people pander. They say that Israel's going to war on behalf of Judaism. I don't believe that that's ever been stated. And I don't think Israel ever explains that it's like, I think Israel says it's a place where Jews can go.
Israel's just a place Jews can go? With that slogan, we might actually have peace. You know, if that's all you're defining Israel as, is a place Jews can go.
Israel is an ethno-state that exists because the world has always hated Jews. And it's a terrible thing, but that's why it exists. They finally were able to, formate themselves. They were finally able to establish themselves after 6 million of them were killed in World War II. And then Jews started flocking there because they were given the land by the UN. And it did displace Palestinians, absolutely. But like, if we were sitting here, and I guarantee you, like, if we were sitting here and we're like, hey, if black people said that they wanted like their own state, because like they are tired of being oppressed by white people, iDubbbz would be like, yes, of course, and he would watch Anisa get railed by BBC. But if after Jews get holocausted, they want to be like, hey, we need an ethno-state because the West hates us, the East hates us, everybody hates us. We have a problem with it. The problem isn't that that Israel's an ethno-state, because like every Middle Eastern country is an ethno-state, and Israel is like most progressive like state in the Middle East. The problem is the continued oppression of Palestine in today's world, especially since they have Western backing. They're a very powerful nation, and we're holding them to a higher standard. Like nobody cares in the Western world about like other Eastern countries like oppressing themselves, but we do care about Israel because it's a Western country, right? That's what it is. But like, yeah, that's what it's generally meant to be. But okay.
Like, sure, it sounds like America to me. Like, all right.
I don't think that Israel said they represent all Jews. I don't think that's a stance. We're like, hey, displacing Palestinians is all Jewish people.
Ethan is being so disingenuous here to suggest that he doesn't understand what Matt Lieb is saying. Like, it's like he's making a semantic argument. Like,
Matt Lieb is talking about how Israel shouldn't exist there. That's at least what I'm getting out of that short bit that you showed us.
I don't think Israel has said that it represents every last Jew on the planet. I don't think Israel has claimed that. They're not going to say that their most genocidal behavior represents anything to do with them, okay? But what they are going to do is they're going to inexplicably link Israel and Jewishness together, so when they're being criticized, all of a sudden, they have the perfect defense. Oh, another thing I need to mention.
Okay.
There was a tier list. It was called the Who Can Say Habibi tier list.
Yes, this is an anti-Semitic dog whistle tier list. Absolutely. It was Arab to love Sabra. Sabra is another name for a Jew born in Israel, and it's also Jewish hummus. That's what it is. This is anti-Semitic. Now, your best argument could be like, hey, maybe they didn't mean to be anti-Semitic, but this looks, especially in today's landscape where there's a lot of anti-Semitism, it looks anti-Semitic. So we should probably not have done that because we know how it looks. Hasan is a very large progressive streamer. All these other people are progressive streamers. They should understand the optics of this. But like, yes, this is an anti-Semitic tier list. Sorry, like you can cope as much as you want about it. That's what it is.
It was presented at TwitchCon as like a panel that was just meant to be lighthearted and fun. And Ethan Klein saw that, and he decided that it was anti-Semitic.
It's because it was anti-Semitic.
Tier list them, and we're going to need your help to discuss and figure out who can say Habibi and who can't. And also, we have tiers. We have Arab coded. They ask permission to say Habibi. You know, like you've got like white guys like, can I say it? Is it slurs? And then love Sabra, which is they're not Arab coded at all.
Now, when I first saw this tier list, I immediately knew what it was doing. I was like,
oh yeah, what is it doing?
It's a play on the who has the N-word pass and who doesn't tier list. Granted, Habibi is very
Why is it that Jews don't have that pass?
different than the N-word, but it is a cultural word amongst Arabic-speaking people and Muslim people. Like that is a word that's used. Habibi,
Okay.
it means my love. Oh no, don't do that, Habibi. Oh yes, Habibi. You're my Habibi, I'm your Habibi. So yes, it's meant to be a fun way that these Arab content creators can express their Arab
Now I understand. He really wanted to be at the top of that list. That's why.
culture and be proud of it and happy about it, because it's not like they have massive representation on the platform.
Making a tier list based on race. And nobody has a fucking problem with that. Okay, you have a tier list based on race. Where's the Jewish panel? Where's the Jewish panel? Where at the top it says Jewish. It's a tier list based on Arab to Jew. He's Arab, which is good.
Yeah, he concluded. True.
That's the best thing you can be on this. That's the best. This is racist.
I will say that conveying information through a tier list is not the most effective thing, but Ethan should understand this principle. He did a white slurs tier list with Hasan.
Crack.
Didn't you? The only people in that tier list were fucking Ethan Klein and Ben Shapiro, two Jews. So, okay. Okay. We're at the point in the video where I have two options. I can either get fucking worked up, but I don't care. Like, I think after the point where I just realized like, iDubbbz is a coward. He's a spineless little bitch. Like, there's no reason to fucking like get even worked up about this. This guy's a little pathetic loser.
I mean, you know what my take is.
And I think that like while people are gonna jerk this moment off, especially the Hasan crew are gonna jerk this off for a while, this thing means nothing.
We can't put this as an F cracker. I mean, that's got to be at least a D, right?
This is them actively like Hasan got banned for saying cracker on Twitch, I think it was, because like it's trying to be a slur. It's what it's trying to do, right? It's hard. It's hard. If you're the best slur you have for us is when we used to, crack a whip. It's kind of tough. All right, but then again, I am very dry and ashy, and I crumble sometimes because of my ashiness. Okay. But like that's what they're trying to do. So you're comparing a tier list that is the anti-Semitic dog whistle to an active, like I guess you could say anti-white tier list. I don't care because like I'm not threatened power wise, but that's what this is. So I don't understand. Like your comparison makes you look stupid.
Pale face motherfucker.
Pale face. I mean, again, I think that's an F. Hog.
So Hog is my favorite.
Also, you have two white people criticizing white people here, whereas you have a bunch of people, non-Jewish people criticizing Jews.
I use it all the time.
Him and Hasan feel as though they're white guys, so they felt very comfortable talking.
Wait. I'm sorry. Did we just go mask off? Did we just go mask off?
About
favorite. I use it all the time.
Him and Hasan feel as though they're white guys, so
sorry, did we just go mask off here? Are you trying to insinuate that Ethan, as a Jew, isn't white? You know who else says that? People who don't like Jews. Anti-Semites say that. I don't know. Maybe he's probably just referring to Hasan, but Hasan is white as fuck. Okay, that's it. And by the way, it's racist to say Hasan's not white. I mean, white is a social construct. If you will not acknowledge that Hasan is white, you are racist, and you don't feel comfortable with him associating with whiteness. But it's just social construct. It doesn't matter. Anybody can be white. You can be from any country. You can be white. Okay, Hispanics can be white. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful meant to beware.
So they felt very comfortable talking about white slurs on their tier list.
Whoa.
I think I'm more white than you. What do you think?
I think I'm white. Like I'm super white.
Can you understand why Arabs might feel comfortable talking about Arab shit on their tier list, Ethan? You're
what?
The white guy? You think you're more white than Hasan.
I think I'm more white than you.
So yeah, the white guy can say all the things that he wants, like cracker, but the Arabs can't have their tier list.
Yeah, white people can make fun of other white people, but Arabs, They can't make fun of Jews. What world do we live in? That's the take. That's your take that you just gave us. Like, that's incredible.
I would put him also in Arab. I know Turkish people are different.
Notice how they drop the premise almost immediately that it's about who can say Habibi, and then it's like Hasan. Okay, actually he's Arab. We fucking love him. He's dope. He's Arab.
Habibi is an Arabic word. That is an Arabic word, Ethan.
Funny about this whole thing is that they say Habibi in Israel. Again, people underestimate just how like mixed Israeli culture is. Like
We say Habibi in Israel. Yes, Ethan. Another piece of evidence as to why
the literal tier list like mixed is meant to juxtapose Arabic people and Jewish people. That's what it's meant to do. That is what it is. That is the idea. And it's saying that the Jews are on the bottom. That is why it is anti-Semitic.
Israeli culture is like...
We say Habibi in Israel. Yes, Ethan. Another piece of evidence as to why it isn't anti-Semitic.
Another white savior desperate for that fucking clout, baby. Another fallen white savior with nothing else to provide people. And when it comes to actual entertaining content, desperately looking to fucking suckle at the teat of the just fucking insanity of the online atmosphere is what happening. It's what is happening right now.
This is racist.
If you're not Arab or understand Arab culture at all, which is a lot of Americans, and Ethan Klein presents you this tier list and calls it anti-Semitic, you're just going to eat it up. It's not Ethan.
Not really. He did a good job showing that it's anti-Semitic.
He's just proving his location on this tier list under Love Sabra because he doesn't understand Arab culture. There's a lot of Arab.
What is Sabra, bud? What is Sabra? Sabra is a hummus made by Jews, and it's also a name for Israeli-born Jews. So the tier list is quite literally Arab to Jew. Okay, but okay, if you say so, buddy boy. You do you, brother. You do whatever you want.
Arabs who eat Sabra.
I really just couldn't imagine waking up every day and just be like, okay, what does the internet think of me today?
There's a lot of people like me who eat Sabra. A lot of the times it's all that's in the store, and I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna eat it, but it is not the good shit. Like the average Arab American, they're gonna go in the store and the only option they have is fucking Sabra. And
okay. It says it's 60% market share, so that means 40% is not Sabra. So it sounds like it's actually the best tasting Sabra, generally speaking. Hummus, rather.
And that sucks that's the only option, right? Arab communities and distribution facilities are not widespread across the US. So what are they left with? They're left with a common, relatable, shitty hummus, which
a shitty hummus. Terrible stuff, bro.
Which is Sabra. And what's so fucking pathetic about this whole thing is after he was able to get these Arab creators banned off of Twitch for 30 days, he goes on to talk about how bad Sabra hummus is on his show.
I don't think anybody wants to prefer Sabra over homemade like restaurant quality hummus. You know, it's what's there.
Like weirdly fluffy.
It is
Sabra,
fluffy.
Weird.
What's your point? It's still a dog whistle about being anti-Jew.
Yeah.
I would buy it sometimes and eat it. It's not the best.
The problem is with Sabra, in my opinion, it's only good for the first 2 days.
For some reason, like when you eat the Sabra shit, it just feels so much heavier. And imagine eating a whole fucking vat of Sabra. That's crazy.
Yeah. I've never liked hummus.
Oh, okay. Well, you hate Jews then.
I don't.
And Arabs.
Yeah.
This is racist.
Yeah, it's almost like you can have a discussion about Sabra hummus being a bad hummus without it being at all related to a Jewish thing or an Israeli thing. He can have that discussion as much as he wants on his podcast because we all know his intentions are anti-Semitic.
This is what he did.
Well, no shit.
He hit his heart hard.
Uh-huh.
The Zion.
I'm sorry, what the fuck just happened?
Or an Israeli thing. He can have that discussion as much as he wants on his podcast because we all know his intentions are anti-Semitic.
This is what he did. He hit his heart hard.
Uh-huh.
The Zion.
I think this is the epitome of what this video is. The epitome of what this video is, what we just witnessed there, is iDubbbz trying to insinuate that Ethan is anti-Semitic because he imitated Elon Musk throwing out an Hail Hitler. And if you look at the full clip, he was obviously criticizing Elon Musk. That's what that was. And I'm actually shocked that he did that because we all know the context of that. Okay. If this is how you want people to see you online, Ian, I guess. Yeah, that's a good point. It's like having a white-black tier list, but the bottom is like loves Air Jordans. Yes, that's what it is. That would be racist. Yeah.
Zionism is leading to not accepting other cultures, embracing their own culture, and instead thinking that that is an attack on you. There's this incident on the podcast where they were reacting to Cutie Cinderella.
Yeah, and he laughed. Cool.
And Ethan was laughing during it. So that ended up being a pretty important wake-up call for Ethan. He made an apology video directed at Cutie Cinderella, and it was graded by a professional psychologist, Dr. Kirk Honda of Psychology in Seattle. And Ethan got an A+ rating.
In terms of a public apology, this is A+.
Ethan won't stop talking about his A+ rating.
You know he rated my apology to Cutie Cinderella a perfect score? A perfect 10.
A perfect 10 out of
Cool.
10? Literally 10 out of 10. Go back. I can teach you how to make a good apology. I'm the
Right,
best
10
at
out of 10.
I know what a perfect apology is, lady. You fucking don't. Is my perfect apology in this PowerPoint? Dude, I got a perfect 10 out of 10.
This one is actually best apology, so.
Ethan Klein, you guys, oh my God.
I was trying really hard to think about an impactful moment during this video. Like, could I do something that
Why did you show us that?
would really wake Ethan up? And I don't know if this came from a good place or not, but I came up with the idea of getting Ethan's grade changed from an A to a B at least. So I went to visit Psychology in Seattle. I'm not confident that Kirk will change his grade, but it's worth trying. And
Holy fuck, you went to the guy?
you know, we might learn a thing or two.
You went to Seattle just for your video? You're telling me that you traveled across the country just so that you could film a bit on your video that's anti-Ethan Klein? That's awesome, man. I love that so much. I love that for you, bud.
Xander! Probably get pretty low marks. Unlike me, perfect score, 10. I said, hey, Lud, no big drama. Why are you such a spineless coward of a person now that you've inserted yourself and your girlfriend into this conversation?
Okay, iDubbbz, I hear you. You're in the room with me right now. I hear you. I hear your request. I understand it.
Or maybe he didn't actually go there. Maybe this is like a bit.
I can understand where it's coming from. And I guess have a
Oh, does iDubbbz live in Seattle as well? Okay, I don't care.
policy that when there is a grade for an apology, I am just grading that discrete apology as I see it without taking any consideration of prior or future behavior. If you're wanting me to comment on the overall behavior or the recent behavior from the clips that you have shown me, I believe that Ethan is a good person and that eventually he will feel sorrow and will feel sorry and will apologize. And I will be there to evaluate that apology when it happens, which I know.
Apologize for what?
It will.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Unfortunately, Kirk did not change his grade, but that's okay.
The fuck was that?
Because this is the internet, anyone can have their own official apology rating system. So I'm going to rate Ethan's apology a B-. That's just based on my own feelings and my own rubric. When Psychology in Seattle was watching these video clips of Ethan, he said that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug. Now, of course, it kind of pisses me off to hear that shit because I'm like, what are we doing? What are we saying? He needs a hug? No, he doesn't need a hug. He needs a good fucking ass whooping is what he needs.
Oh, that's crazy, dude. Oh, that's so cool.
I think something that's very important to me in bringing back Content Cop is to be fair. I think that was something that was not illustrated in previous Content Cops that I think should have been and probably wouldn't have left me.
I'm sorry, I've tuned out. What the fuck
with so
did
much
you say?
is what he needs. I think something that's very important to me in bringing back Content Cop is to be fair. I think that was something that was not illustrated in previous Content Cops that I think should have been and probably wouldn't have left me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is fair to iDubbbz since he has a fucking traumatic brain injury after his fucking boxing match. I don't know.
Me with so much regret. Ethan deserves all of the criticism that he's getting. I think it's very valid. But I also think, at the end of the day, we should
deserves a hug.
Acknowledge that he's human because he is human. And he is in a situation that's making him extremely scared, paranoid, defensive, sensitive, and I'm sure other features and feelings.
That's how you've been acting for like the past, like, what, 3 years? All those things. That's how you've been acting. That's why you've been overcorrecting and over-apologizing for your past behavior. But, okay.
In the spirit of Kirk saying that it looks like Ethan could just use a hug, I have challenged some of his most powerful haters to put down the haterade and just say something nice and charitable about him because I think he deserves it.
I just wanted to say that I respect that you are genuinely yourself on the internet. I think a lot of other people respect you for it as well. I think that's a big reason why people were drawn to your content in the first place. I think that's a lot of the reason why your employees chose to work with you over anyone else.
Ethan, I think it's respectable that you begin this journey to leave behind the anti-SJW crowd and step into a more empathetic worldview. I know it's not easy.
Ethan Klein, I think that when you are being goofy, when you're being silly, when you are being lighthearted, and just having fun with your friends, I think that is when
this guy dropped on his fucking head as a kid. Or they use tongs to pull him out? What the hell?
And you're at your best. So I'd love to see more of that. That'd be sick.
I will be reading my letter off because I don't want to sound robotic. HJ used to be the sports figure that I used to watch. I hope that one day gets back to where I remember. You are one of the inspirations for me to start creating content so all this has stunk. I hope you really hear this and I wish you the best.
I think Ethan Klein rocks a buzz cut pretty good. And I think he's got a good choice of facial hair. I think it's really cool what he did 8 years ago fighting that frivolous lawsuit. That was pretty fucked up. And fighting it, changed YouTube for the better. And I thought that was cool because I thought it was like he was fighting for free speech.
I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Neil. I'm like,
I won't be fucking crying. What the fuck is this? Did you really just insert yourself crying in this video? What the fuck is this?
I thought it was like he was fighting for free speech.
I also see the dynamic of Ethan and Neil. I'm like, it's really hard to be a couple online and see people attacking your partner, and it's like, okay, like if you come to their defense, that doesn't always help them, right? Sometimes that makes it worse for them.
And I have been kind of...
Oh my god. I've never seen a more active display of just like performative crying ever on the internet. Holy fuck.
Slipping into a very unhealthy place where it's gotten worse and worse, and I get criticized more and more, and I get more defensive and more pulled up, a feeling of almost infallibility that I can take anything on. It led me to make a lot of mistakes, and then when I was criticized for those mistakes, then I would act extremely defensive and nasty and not really processing them in a healthy way.
Crazy. Cool stuff, man. Thanks for the video, iDubbbz. You did a good job. Keep it up. Great job.